North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning, looking to extend the late session rally we saw yesterday. An impressive bounce back off session lows late in the day. Still a very negative start to the week, obviously, for North American markets. We had the S&P down 1.7% to kick things off on Monday. The Dow tumbling 614 points. The NASDAQ led the way. So it was the big cap tech names that were down the most, 2.2%. For the NASDAQ composite. It's all about the Fed now. The two-day meeting for the Federal Reserve kicks off today. We'll get the statement and the press conference tomorrow from Fed Chair Powell at 2 p.m. Everyone looking for that tapering word to be used, and a bit of a timeline, obviously, as to when they plan on implementing said tapering. Growth stocks, as we said, led the way to the downside yesterday. A lot of them back in positive territory this morning. We'll have a look at Apple. A little bit of news on Apple this morning. Active here in the pre-market, up about a percent. Uber shares as well. Big movers here in the pre-market, 6% at one point for Uber on a revised Q3 forecast. Crypto, yeah, what a 24 hours, testing 40,000 for Bitcoin. So some of the crypto stocks very active here in the pre-market once again as well. It's Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. tradertv.live starts now. Hey guys, good morning. It is Tuesday, as we said. Our data, our quote board still not working, so we're going to get that fixed. But trust us when we say we're back in positive territory here for the markets overall, both the S&P and NASDAQ. Solidly higher right now, 0.6 for the S&P. I mean, even the Russell looking really good here to start things off, up about 0.9. So was that the sell-off, guys?
It was a sell. I mean, it was a sell-off yesterday. It's a little bit early to be calling it the sell-off. I'd like to see how we react today, and when an actual. I don't think the Evergrande thing. Welcome everybody here is going to necessarily spill over to the U.S. market, but you're still waiting till Thursday till you get that. They'll technically it won't be default, but they'll miss a payment. Yeah, well, they have two.
Yeah, there's a bond and interest payment.
Either way, let's see what happens after Thursday before we sort of get all excited about these things here. Did Uber just break the top? Yeah, Uber just broke the top. So very happy with Uber.
I'm short Uber. Here.
I would say a pretty obvious fluke yesterday. You know, more the reason I was talking about buying Uber yesterday was more to do with the fact that it was up on a down day. Not that I was expecting them to come out and then essentially guide higher.
Did you
right?
buy
Of course
some?
I did. I
Boom,
nice.
Check,
good. So
good.
Again, it's a long-term thing. So ultimately, it's a little bit of a fluke that it's up 5 or 6%. Happy to see it happen, but really, it doesn't actually matter. What takes place with this market for the next week is going to be far more important than an overnight gap in a single stock. So it was a super impressive rally. I would say the second half of the day for the markets was about as good as the second half for the Packers versus
Yes, that's
the Lions.
very, very
It's almost
good
like you knew I was going to say that.
That was a very, very good analogy right there. Yeah, congratulations to the Green Bay Packers and sorry to the Detroit Lions. But you kind of knew that one was coming. I mean, we did have it in our survivor pool, and that was a good one. But of course, as a fan, you're always nervous, right? So that's why I always think they're going to lose every week. I know that's not the way you're supposed to think. But yeah, so good. Yeah, great. I didn't dip in yet to buying. That's why I asked Neil. I still think that you do have to pick up good quality stocks whenever you do see some dips like this, so there's no doubt about that. I still think that there's a little bit of ways to go here to the downside in this market. And Brendan, you started the question off. Do we think that it was that the sell-off? And it's a resounding no to me. And like Neil said, was it a sell-off? Yes, but I still think there's a lot more to go here, guys. I mean, even on the NASDAQ, if we just call up the Qs, the NASDAQ right now is just back above, you can see here, just back above 15,000, 15,103 right now. It's a nice little rally back here. But, I mean, look at the daily chart. We just dipped below there, the 50-period moving average. Maybe I can blow this up just a little bit. So we just dipped below the Qs. It would be 370. And, lately, though, like these dips, they're not, like if you see here how far below the 50 period we actually go, right? Like I don't think there's that much more to go. Like if the Qs gets to 350, which would be about another 2% or so down, I mean, that might be it there. Like, I don't see, I mean, obviously what happened in March, you're going to see a big pull away divergence from the 50 period. But even here, it's not, It's not so dramatic. What we haven't had yet is that little swoop down. So I think there's just like one more, and whether or not we get to 350 or, I mean, I don't think we go any lower than that. But earnings, that's the other thing, Brendan. Earnings aren't that far away at this point. So companies are going to come, they're going to guide, they're going to help us see what they see, and we'll go from there. But I do like mega cap tech. You know, Uber fits that bill as well. So I mean, I like all of these names right now. I just think that you have a couple more days. Oh, and an interesting stat I heard actually, Neil, and we didn't talk about this in our September effect. Last September, September 3rd to the 24th, how much do you think we were down?
Oh.
Last September.
Well, see, now it can't be that much because now I'm playing with your psychology. So I'm going to say 1.2%.
Right, it's 11%.
Really that
That's
bad?
what I'm saying.
I
right?
played the other way around. It was that bad?
Yeah, last September was a lot worse.
I feel like
I
the
know.
key is picking the 3rd to the 24th, though, and I'd have to look back at the chart. And it probably ended with the 3rd. It was a witching day. Would have been
Well,
the last
I mean, it's
day
just
of that.
right here. It actually, you know, we were at a huge spike here, right? But then you see a huge dip down here. This is last September what I'm talking about. That's probably, you know, besides February, March.
But was witching day the bottom?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the 25th. Yeah, well, no, it wouldn't have been 25th. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point is that we were starting high last September and went all the way to the downside here. It's very, very similar to what's happening right now, where we are high to begin of the September. Now we're dropping down. So I still think there's a little bit more to go here. But hey, who knows? It doesn't just because it happened last year doesn't mean it has to happen this year, Brendan.
All right, news guys on this HellBiz, HLBZ, one we were trading last week a little bit, headline out there at 8:30. So HellBiz Live, which is their media channel, going to be available on Amazon Prime video channels throughout Italy. So big pop here for HLBZ. 14 bucks up to 36 here. So a huge move for HellBiz. Again, we were looking at that one, that recent edition going back to August 16th or so. That was the obvious one.
Come on, Neil. You didn't buy HellBiz?
Before we go any further, let's get over to say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, team. I wish you a positive, profitable day. Please enjoy the show and make sure you like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, impressive volume here to say the least, guys, on this HLBZ, 130% at the top there. This is obviously uncharted territory up here, but what do we think about HellBiz, guys?
Well,
I'm
two
just
things.
thinking
I'm
about how
angry.
much is shorts.
I shorted. I went long like multiple times on Friday when you were here with the room. It's like I couldn't even make the trade work. Now the first thing that I'm going to do.
Why did you go long though?
It was, this was a gapper and it was breaking out. So I'll just give you a quick look. Like it was a gapper and it was breaking out of this high. So the executions here. First long was good, and then I guess kept trying it, and this is gonna be hard to see. I can zoom in on the 15-minute. Yeah, you're gonna see like the second time that I took a break at 19 on this stock, like I got in and then I got stopped out, break even, because I just decided I'm not gonna hang on to the 20 break, and it failed at exactly 20. Who cares about that kind of stuff now? Because you're in uncharted territories. You gotta see what pay for shorts are gonna be, but this is not the first time it made a run. It is worth noting when it gapped up last time, it did make multiple breakouts throughout the day because this was at about 10:30 and it made its high midday at 25. So, I mean, I would look back to see if 25 is going to be a dip buy for the obvious reason that, hey man, previous top can turn into a bit of a support level. That's literally what happened last time. It broke out like 16.25. 16 and a quarter is essentially where it stalled out at the close. And of course, it ended up dropping the next day. But I'll shoot 25 on a pullback if we get a chance.
Yeah, I'm just going to see how much it costs per 100 shares. I don't think it's going to be that much here. We're just checking our system. Yeah, $1.25.
We didn't have them on Friday at all.
Yeah, so what that means is that when we check it out for $1.25, it means for 100 shares, it's going to cost you $125. And it's not that it's that expensive if you can make $1.25 on this, and I think you can almost make it right away. I mean, it just moved right there down to 31 from 34. So you got to cover first that first dollar, and then you got to make some more on that trade. So we'll watch to see what it does here, taking out the top. I mean, I can't believe that they announced a new their soccer, and they announced and you said Amazon. Someone said it's Android, but I guess it doesn't matter that now they're going to be available. I don't know. To me, this is not that big of a story. I don't even. I mean, it's probably big for them because they're a low float cap, I guess. But I do want to short this. Let's just wait to see a little bit here before we do that. But HLBZ, congratulations. I'm surprised, Neil, that you didn't buy this one yesterday.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I mean, it should have been an obvious play after the gap up and absolute like capitulation that it had through 25. It got cut in half, and now it's up 3x from. Oh, I mean. It's up 3x.
3x, yeah. I mean, that's an average return overnight.
Why not?
So.
I guess you can look at it.
We'll
that
find
way,
more of these. Uber, on the other hand, here we're short 42.25, yeah, there's a lot different than HLBZ here. We will take out some if we come down to 42. That's how we're going to operate. Obviously, we'll take a quarter out here with a 50 minutes to go. If Uber can come down, then that'd be great. We're going to be shorting that. We'll talk about that when we go through our watch list. But Uber on the short side, I like it right now for a trade.
Yeah, it's definitely Amazon, guys. Helbiz Media, 3-year agreement, in fact, with Amazon Prime Video channels. So definitely Amazon. And Helbiz, I wanted to talk about Cathie Wood because she was doing a few things yesterday on the dip. So Cathie Wood buying the dip on, here we go, Robinhood, Coinbase, UiPath, picking up a ton of shares. So 22.8 million in coin, 16.4 in Hood, 21.1 in that Path stock for the ARKK. So Miss Wood had the buying hat on yesterday, guys.
He did. And speaking of pay for order flow,
she's been buying these things forever.
Exactly. Right? Every single one of these names I think has been bought. I know you're going to talk about Path, so I'll talk about Hood because Revolut, which you guys a lot of people probably haven't heard of, it's an English company, actually, a fintech company, and they're getting into the retail trading space as well, and grabbing that pay for order flow. So it's getting a crowded space. PayPal, as we all know, is going to be likely next there. Then look, Robinhood, it's actually been consolidating and it's still setting up. And I think we probably mentioned this last week, so it's probably just worth reiterating again. It has a chance to make a little bit of breakout off of this consolidation. I know on Friday it attempted to make that move on that 42 break. Obviously over the weekend, you know, we had the gap down, and yesterday's action is going to cause you to pull back in, but you still have a 43 break which is setting up. I don't see any chance that we're getting there. It's at 41. I'm kind of with Sean that I don't necessarily think that this is over. So the notion that the breakout will be coming on Robinhood, I'll look out for it, I think, when we find a recovery, but I don't think that's going to be there yet. I might think about like 43 if we get up there as a shorting opportunity, but the volume not necessarily there. It's actually not a bad place to be getting into it, although I'm staying away from getting any deeper into some of these, into a name like Robinhood. I'm not in Robinhood at all, and I kind of want to stay away from some of the pay for order flow risk. I think you can benefit from I think what's going on in terms of trading, in terms of fintech and disruptors, without having to have direct exposure to what I think is going to be eventually regulation on pay for order flow. So like Hood, I think what they're doing is not going to go away. But there's going to be plenty of opportunities, and again, it's becoming a crowded space. Like you said, if you own PayPal, you're already getting into this. If you own Square, you're already into this. It's just you're getting a piece of this phenomenon so many other places that, and Cathie is obviously very, very smart and much smarter than I am. I like a 43 break as a day trade if we ever get there. I don't think it's going to be happening today, so it's resistance until then.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't really like Robinhood for an investment, but I'm debating getting into this Path. I haven't got into it yet. It's fallen from grace right here off the 50-period moving average. This was earnings. They really missed pretty badly on earnings, and you can see it's just been to the downside. And this is a name that I've been talking about from Cathie Wood's side of things for quite a while now, well, at least a couple of weeks anyways. And she's been buying this almost every day. I mean, we talk about ARK and how they show, their investments and where they're putting in their money, where they're taking it out, and very, very active management. So, this one down here, down to 52.50. I mean, maybe is 50 going to be a bottom? I just wonder that if you do think, okay, here we go, there it is. So we'll take out that on Uber. So right there, take a nice little 25 cents, get out at $42 right there on Uber as it's coming back into the downside. So that's a good one there. We'll take out half of that. Like I said, to take 20 cents in 10 minutes is pretty good. We'll do that. Okay, so UiPath, I think we got to get excited about this if it breaks above 56. I'm going to sneeze in a minute, but I think that that's something that we could definitely watch. 56. I don't know if we want to catch a falling sword. I don't think the market is done yet. And you can see if I can zoom in a little bit here on a stock like this, like when you're wrong and when it's a bad day, you go from 56 down to 52. And then 2 days ago, or was this was yesterday, September 20th, you go from, again, $54 to the bottom of 51. So that's like 8% there, you know, like in one day. You're going to drop $3 on 50, so let's call that 6% in one day, just because the Dow goes down 500 points. So you got to be very, very careful. I don't know. I don't think we rally back to 54, 55, but I kind of like this break. It's machine learning, it's AI, and it's a good one. If she's buying it, like Neil said, there are some ideas that Cathie Wood has, like Palantir, that have been real big winners for us. And if you're going to pick something up, you always want to pick it up on the way down if it's a good value play. But I just don't know if this is one of those. It's a new IPO, and it is UiPath.
All right, a couple of major kind of catalysts for this week. We mentioned the Fed obviously kicks off the two-day meeting today. There's also this story out of China, guys, and I don't think a lot of people really have a fully grasp of what this means. So let's talk about this Evergrande here for a second, because it's a little bit confusing as to why this Yahoo story, obviously talking about the ties to crypto, because we saw Bitcoin down to 40,000 yesterday, and the Evergrande default that could be coming. If I scroll down here, like, how on earth does this company, which is a Chinese property group, like, how do they have 300 billion, first of all, in debt? And what is this going to mean? Obviously, there was a default that happened today. I just read, actually, a smaller payment that they missed, but the big one coming obviously Thursday.
Yeah. So look, how they amass that much debt? This is the world we live in.
It's real estate.
Over leveraging real estate. It's just. Yeah, I mean,
whether Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, I mean, the United States had the exact same problem.
We shouldn't be surprised.
And then they nationalized them, right? That's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised anymore. I think right now the government's basically saying that they're not going to step in unless there's wider contagion, which there isn't yet. So, I mean, at the point that happens, I'm sure they're going to try to save people. You ask yourself, like, why would that affect crypto? How could that affect crypto? I seriously doubt, and I would strongly hope that Tether on their balance sheet does not actually have directly any Evergrande paper, but they don't. I mean, they're not holding USD; they are holding commercial paper, and to the extent that there would be exposure to Asian paper, that's entirely possible. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's certainly possible. And if that contagion, at least in the lending in the debt markets, does extend to elements of Tether's balance sheet, that could cause some obvious pain. As everyone kind of knows, the correlation between Tether and buying in almost all cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, if there's any weakness in Tether related to this after that default, then you could see some pain. Now, does it for the long term? Are you terribly worried about it? I don't know. And again, this could be it could all be nothing. Like maybe there isn't the problem. I just don't know what's on that balance sheet for Tether, and that's been some concern for a lot of people for a while. I think it's at least a decent sign that we're holding up here above that 42 level. Who knows? If this is true, when we see those real like liquidation type crashes, I don't know that the first level usually hold up. Like whether you're talking like a 40,000 holding up, but I do think that I'm at least going to be in the back of my mind thinking about a crazy buying opportunity that could come on like Thursday and Friday. I don't know, man, but like it's the kind of thing that could happen. And seeing at least a few people in the mainstream media talking about it a little bit has piqued my interest. But for now, you can kind of see that we're not really doing anything here. So this is, at this particular point, like you are holding 3,000 support on Ether and you're holding 4,200 support, 42,000 support on Bitcoin. It's just knowing that threat is out there and some people are talking about it. So it is worth mentioning.
Yeah, Palantir up nicely. I see some people talking about that on the chat there. What's up, Scott? Yeah, so exactly what Neil just mentioned there. I just want to show everybody, like, look, we held 2,000, right? This is 2,000 here. Sure, we dipped down. We're always going to get some kind of dips, but a dip to 17. And like I said, just treat this, put the decimal place 2 over. And if it's like a $30 stock, then you'll see that it's not super violent. I mean, that HLBZ today goes from 20 to 40 or whatever it was. So imagine this. Like if we came here and said, oh my God, Ether's there. And I know you're talking about different companies here. Ether's almost, $1 billion in value. But okay, so the point I'm getting at here is that we hovered around 2,000 and people were very nervous about that. From May to basically July, we kind of went from 2 to 3, back and forth, tipped down there for one final time before they got the rally boots on and went right up again to 4,000. So we basically doubled from July to September, doubled, okay? So it is gonna fall back down. There's always gonna be stories. And now look, now we're hovering around 3,000. So that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna make a couple more dips, probably maybe even to like 27, 28 again, which we probably will do. And then we'll start to take out the tops one more time. I mean, we were just like what was it 10% or 8% away from all-time highs just a couple days ago. So, I don't think there's any worry really from this Evergrande with crypto. But again, when assets are getting hit, we talked about this yesterday, people are going to liquidate anything that they have. And right now, crypto is a #1 thing for a lot of traders that they've made their most money on is crypto. So people are going to get out of positions when the world looks like it's coming to an end because, look, you don't want to hold anything. That's obvious. You saw the 10-year yesterday as well slide a little bit. So that's what that is. And now we're going to, or go up, sorry. That's what we're going to watch to see what happens now with crypto. And I think every dip down is a buying opportunity. But hey, I still don't think you need to put more than 10% of your current investment holdings in anything, let alone crypto.
Okay, QuantumScape just popping up here, guys. Headline here for QuantumScape lovers. They've signed an agreement with a second. They don't actually name the company here, but a second top 10 automotive original equipment manufacturer, according to Reuters. So 13% here for your QS, Sean.
This is still like 20%.
I love how this is my QS. I sold this thing at $40.
It's kind of weird how that happens. But.
Yeah, but that's fine. Okay, so Volkswagen, we already know, was part of it. I guess that's the first one that they have. Volkswagen has, I think it was $200 or $300 million invested in this company. I mean, it's not a huge investment for them, but they are doing the solid state batteries. We talked about that over and over again. I like the technology. I don't know about management because, this has been just a crazy, crazy roller coaster for them. Signing a new deal is obviously a good thing. If you had bought QS, it's right at one of those bottoms again. I mean, we don't really know where the bottom is, but we've already made this nicely there at 20. We can even zoom in just so you guys can see us a little bit more. We've already made this nice bottom. I mean, if you had picked up QS yesterday, then you're laughing today because all of these bottoms are holding. This is the kind of stuff we're looking for. This is what I'm looking for in Clover. This is what I'm looking for. Lucid got that after that flush. They flushed down that one day down to 15. Now you're at $24, right? So you're kind of looking for this in any stock because therefore, if you get that big news story, this may be the bottom that you never see again, right? And I think that there's been examples like that on Palantir, and you may have another one on QS right now. So, if the story comes the other way, then, you're long at 2030, and we have to wait to see what happens. I don't think the risk is too much to the downside from here, especially if this is real, which it is. So I like QS here, but I like to see it come back just a little bit. That was just a huge move to the upside. We danced around 22. I don't know if we come back to there, but QS for a nice little runner today, up 12%, probably goes a little bit higher.
Analyst moves. Just heads up if you're in Uber right now, the CEO on CNBC. Upgrades and downgrades for you this morning. Regeneron on here. It's interesting. The NNVC story, nanovaricide's up this morning. They have a remdesivir or version of something that's similar to remdesivir that is positive. So Regeneron as well getting an upgrade today, BMO. Asana, big mover last week. Bath and Body Works, Warner Music on here. To the downside, Big Lots, Oshkosh, Valet as well. Down, it was actually negative at one point I saw for VALE, guys.
Yeah, the Asana, the company with the fantastic looking daily chart, although I'm showing you a 15-minute chart. This was actually a short idea that we had on Friday. Again, just a double top put in at that 120 level, a failure on the breakthrough there, which was fantastic. It did extend through, and I looked the gift horse squarely in the mouth, thinking it was going to be a bigger winner. And I tended to hold it all day long, but you did have a bit of a rally, and it got right back into 118. You're essentially gapping up, and this is one which, sometimes you're going to gap through obvious levels that you're going to like, and you see it maybe double top in yesterday's action at 119, kind of giving a chance to put in a 120 break. Unfortunately, it's going to already be through that price. Volume pretty low here. This is one name that I do believe, if the market's going to try to head higher here, I think a shot at holding like a 120 dip, 119 to 120 dip buy would make a little bit of sense. I'm not overly thrilled with the idea that the market is going higher, but Asana certainly a name to watch. Very quickly before we move on, I just want to go to that HLBZ because it just pulled back pretty heavy, about like $7 off of the top here, but it's showing. God. Yeah, I know. So, anyways. You paid for the shorts too?
No, you paid for them.
I paid for the shorts with the intention of looking for an opportunity, and there was like one shot here at about like 34 that could have got you $4.50. I think this is now turning into like a sit it out till 9:30 type of thing where it's held $30 even. I thought 25 would be more of a dip buy, but shorting it in this range is the risk reward isn't going to make a lot of sense down to that 25. on a 30 break, at least I don't think. So let's see if it can't test the high of the day. The breakout was very, very tricky. When we traded this on Friday, the breakout at the open wasn't good, but the secondary break through the high was actually pretty solid. So I kind of want to sit out an opening break unless I can get it at a lower price. Like if it's giving you a shot at like a 34 break earlier on in the session, this is definitely one that can halt into the open. Trading this is not for everybody because you're dealing with halts, you're dealing with a ridiculously low float. If you're already in it, I mean, just look at the daily chart. If you're not happy taking profit on this, I don't know what kind of profits you're looking for.
More, $48.
That's the answer, yeah.
CEO Dara Khosrowshahi here talking on CNBC right now about Uber, and they're talking nice right now. I mean, accelerate into the back half. Last week in the U.S., volumes were the best since March. They added 5% more drivers to their platform, and Uber's going down a little bit here. So we'll fire off. Actually, we'll do a little bit of a backflip as we're out of half right there of our Uber trade, and they're talking nice right now. So we'll wait to see what happens with Uber. I still think we fall down here into the open, and if you check out a daily chart, this is part of the reason why we're right up to that 50-period moving average one more time. That's part of the reason why we like that one. 42.50 we've been holding out. This is just a 15-minute range, so we can watch out for that previous high as well. So that's what's happening right now with Uber. We're out of a little bit. It's just, with CEOs on, I guess it's on CNBC right now, it looks like. That could spark, obviously, a lot in the company and in this. So he just says one thing, and we're off to the races here. So we did cash out of half. We are very nervous about, not nervous, but we're watching that 42.50 area there on Uber. And you can go back here to this little dip spot too. 43.35 or so is a target area to look for if we do break that 42.50 as a possible stopping spot. So I don't think we get to 44 today, but Uber with a nice little 6% run here.
Just on that Hellbiz quickly, guys, remember last week the reason we were looking at it was when all the super low float stocks started to run. Just double checking on Hellbiz, it's 2.9 million share free float. So 2.96 million share free float. So yeah, tread lightly on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably already, 3.26 million.
All right, let's get into what is moving around. Otherwise, in the pre-market, good to have a few additions to look at here with QS and this HLBZ. Speaking of Uber, they came out increasing their forecast for Q3. In fact, saying after calculations and costs and everything, their EBITDA could be positive for the first time ever in Q3, guys.
It's a big improvement. Not to dwell on it, because I know Sean just went over it for the day trade, and we already talked about the nature of a reason why I liked it yesterday for the long term, which is relative strength in a downward market. I'm favoring a dip. It's not to say that I expect it to fall down like $2, but one of the first things I did when I sat down was just stick a bid out in front of like 40. If I thought the market was coming down, I wanted any chance on the day trade to catch what could be a dip buy. As we extend higher, I'm going to probably look back to like a 41 area for that potential dip buy. And the reason why, look, at the end of the day, the reason why Sean's going to be in a short trade off of this top, and it's going to make some sense, is you do have like resistance up around this 42 to 42 and a half, and there has been this entire time. It even has some implicit cover at like 43 to 43 quarter, and then you also have the 50 period looming, as well as a little bit of short-term resistance. As a day trader, that's what you have to look at. Like, I absolutely believe in Uber, as I've said, in the long term, but as a day trader, you've got to be able to play the momentum. If you think the market's coming down, the stock is going to be gapping up like this, you want to take your short opportunities where you can get them. With all it being said, if it were to get 245 today, I would definitely be thinking of a short in that range. I don't love necessarily the short here. I kind of would have thought about extending it.
$45 today?
I said if it were to get to 45 today, I would be shorting it at that price.
Right.
And that's, anyone that watches me trade could probably figure that out to be true. I like dip buying on it today. I don't have any strong conviction with it, up at this 42 level, but I'd be interested in a 41 dip if I could get it. I think the better level would be buying it in front of 40. It would take quite possibly a pretty harsh move in the market for that to happen, though.
Yeah. I don't. That's why I asked you. I don't think we have another like 7 or 8% up, but we might. I
might actually sit on the offer just in case.
That's why we're going to get out if it does take out too much more than this 42.50. It might do that off the open. So that's the one thing where we could rally. I think you're not going to like this, man, but I don't think the negative stays positive. The NASDAQ stays positive today. I mean, I really don't. I came in here. I mean, it's right on my sticky note. I mean, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, that would be fantastic. I think I'm trying to break through 24,000 followers there. The lovely Miss V did a great job this morning, by the way, with a little video promotion here. So shout out to you, Miss V. Thank you so much for that one. Already multiple retweets, Miss V. They're not just me. So there you go. And this is what we said right here. Turnaround Tuesday, right? So we talked about this. Turnaround Tuesday. Is it? You know, with a little question mark there. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be turnaround Tuesday or not for us here. You know what? It was a nice move back up. We right now are just hovering around some of these levels. You can see the NASDAQ is still, dripping down a little bit here. This is a 1 minute chart. So we're coming back down to that dreaded 15,000 level that I don't want to see again, but it looks like we will. Back down to 15,000 here on the NASDAQ. And again, I know we're talking a little bit about Uber. The point is that I think the NASDAQ has a little bit more to drip here. So I'm thinking that Uber's up great, and I agree 100% that this is a name that I've been wanting to get into, and I haven't. If you look at a daily chart like we're looking at right now, the high is 64. Let's just call it it doesn't matter, 60, 64, up and around here. So you're almost cut in half to these lows. I mean, if you get a good quality company cut in half, you should probably buy it, especially one that's about to turn profitable. But for right now, we are going to be short this name. I think the 6% is too much. We have the 42.50, and don't get me wrong, I won't be in this thing if we come down here. So if this comes down to 41.50 or something like that, we'll probably take it out. Let's see the momentum here in the morning. 41.50 is the target, and our out is only 50 cents up from here. So nice little 2 to 1 and a little bit more than that ratio here on the risk reward. So the reward versus risk. So that's going to be a good one. Let's watch Uber and let's watch Lyft as well.
Speaking of the overall market, let's get Arun in here and get his opinion on what to expect today after pretty impressive rally late in the day yesterday, Arun. This gap to the upside, I guess, expected, but as Sean was saying, starting to leak a little bit back to the downside.
Yeah, yesterday's move right at the end there, that 50-point bounce right off that 4,300 mark, I guess is somewhat expected because a lot of people are looking for value purchases. And at the same time, you combine that with short covering, you get that aggressive rally with programs as well. So quite the move right at the end. It continued on overnight. We got into this area, though. I actually faded this earlier this morning around 8 o'clock. So I am sitting on a decent winner right now. Around 85. Remember, I said keep an eye on 43.85. That was the area I wanted to look at yesterday morning. And then we kind of traded above it, got close to 4,400, and then really stalled out around that 85 again the second time when we came back underneath. So I went ahead and went short. That's still the area I'm looking at. It's not a level. 4,400 would be my stop point on that. So anything above 80, I think, is a short. I've gotten some out. If we go back up into the mid 80s again, I'd like to get some more as well. I am looking to short this on the way down. But once we cross, I believe around 43.65 or so, I got to be careful because we do have some support sitting there at 43.60. So if we start to base out below 70, I think you've got to consider the possibility of this market actually taking another shot to the 80. So we are stuck with a negative bias, but at the same time, we are running into support. So just be aware that the next 10 points down, if we were to continue down, it should be somewhat choppy. If we clear that zone, though, we do have a real good chance to keep on going right through the 50s onward onto the downside. So a couple levels to the downside. I've got 43.20 to the downside, and I've got 4,400 above us. And the closest level right now is 43.60 as support with a negative bias. We are up a little bit, but at the same time, the bias is slightly to the negative, but we are going to support. So if anyone's looking for longs, that's probably your best bet. But me personally, I'm going to stay on the short side for now. That may change after the open, and depending on how we trade, again, below these 70s, between 60 and 70, depending on how we trade, I think I'll make my decision then. But for now, though, it does look like it's leaking. Like Sean said, it is leaking to the downside. Bias is to the sell side for now.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's talk about SDC, guys. Just doesn't seem to want to quit here. Smile Direct, if you remember, another one that made a pretty impressive move late in the day yesterday. Rallied right into the close, all the way back to 7. We're below that. But looking pretty positive here. I guess that was aftermarket. We got that additional move up to 7. But pretty positive here once again for Smile Direct.
It's up to 2.5%. There are some signs, at least I want to say, and I guess we'll start with the daily chart here. There are some signs that it feels like it's run out of steam, and if you can't tell, that move up, like the move up where you're going to essentially, reject it, where there was a cluster where you thought the stock could stabilize, if you look at the nature of the way this break went through 7, like you essentially had the flush down from 7, to take a third off of the name, rally back in, and try to make that breakout through 7 even. And this is the cluster that I just sort of felt, that we could hold up in that $7 to like $8 range, and to have that rejection so harshly at that level at 8 even, and I know this because pre-market levels, and then we were able to take some decent longs out the open that gave you some opportunities for wins, and it just flushed the rest of the session. So I'd really hate for this thing if you're bullish on this stock and you can't get back through that 7 even level. That's a harsh sign. My first look is going to be, and you have to give it room through 7. I think that's just given what happened in the aftermarket. Now, but my first look would be, hey, this is out of steam. It could just find resistance at 7 even. If it finds resistance at 7 even, it's definitely going to be a short for me on Smile Direct. And if we get up to 8 even, I'll probably go for that as well. Given how frustrating the long was in the stock, it wasn't bad. We actually made money on the long. It was really difficult way to go about trying to make money on a long trade when it was you're fighting the trend all session long and closing. We did close below that 7 mark. I know it got there in the aftermarket. We still closed below it. And on the daily chart, I don't love that look. So my first thing will be if we break 7 even, I'll look for fail break for a short. If we have a big level in front of 7, I will go short in front of that level. But I'm not looking for the long in Smile Direct. And if we're getting back down into like a 550, 560 area support from back here, yeah, fine. I'll buy that kind of a dip. But I'm not even looking at that $6 level either.
I just want to do, and I put it in the chat a little bit here. So, my wife just sends me this. So look, this looks like my Instagram account, right? But somebody is trying to set up another fake account. So they're stealing all my pictures. We blocked this guy. You won't be doing this, but see, this is what happens. They set up, as if they're trying to mimic your page, and then they start to ask you guys for Bitcoins and stuff like that. So this guy's about to change his name to Trader TV Sean with 2 N's or 2 S's or 2 something, but this is what's been happening. So I just want to let everybody know that, just as a public service announcement, I know it happens to Neil's account, my account, Brennan's account, things like that. We're never going to ask you guys for Bitcoins or, this is how you really trade, or this is my real trading strategy, things like that. People's always sending me, I have 3 or 4 yesterday from Twitter, people sending me like, hey, is this really you? I noticed it has 2 V's in the name. Like, we're not setting up our accounts other than exactly as it's listed. So please just be careful. Do not, never, ever send us anything, please, unless you're going to send Ms. V a nice green dress or something like.
We might need a few of those next.
Yeah, or more Moe there, because we're going to be cracking 250,000 subscribers soon. So thank you so much for that as well. Uber just said that they're not going to be buying any more DD. So I hope they're not. Anyways, that would be a good sign. DD right now not really moving on that news, but there was some talk there about that, because we all know that when DD came public, I think Uber was, I don't know, was it 5 or 10% or something?
I think it was 13.
Ooh.
Well, that implies that
Even
they
worse,
were going to buy more? Really? They were.
They probably had an option to buy more, but
okay,
why would they want to do that at this point? DD all the way, maybe it's a good value, who knows? DD all the way to the bottom here, I just want to bring that up. It's only 219,000 shares. And quickly, I know we're getting on in time here as we got to go through our watch list more. Ford, the beatdown name from yesterday, 1280, we'll see if that can hold as well. That's going to be a bid here. These are just relatively new. I was looking at this previously and I didn't see these. So AMC as well with 200,000, but that's the wrong way, guys. That's a sell for many people down right now. We talked about U.S. Steel a little bit with the infrastructure bill and what's been happening there. That's going to be a bid to go with their Uber's on there as a bid. These numbers, and if you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. Please hit the like and the subscribe button and the share button. These are market on open orders. So you can see as the time changes, they start getting updated. Like Go2 hasn't had any new volume into it since 9:04. All these other ones are getting updated as we speak. And NASDAQ comes out at 9:28, so we don't get those. But right now we just have NYSE market on open orders. So right now pretty mixed. I would say it's more, obviously it's more bids, but when you're looking at the size here, there's not much there. So I would say this is a relatively uneventful open to start with, but we'll see. Like my good friend there, Arun, said, and I'm glad that he's on the same page as me. That's always a good sign. Maybe it's a bad sign, but the NASDAQ is leaking. I'm glad that he had a great short from up here. Congratulations, Arun, making that cash on. This is a great top right there. This is probably where he's short. All the way to the downside right now. So if this is a covering spot or not, but we're only up 0.4. I think I woke up and we were up like almost close to 1% or something.
Very close.
And so you're chopped more than in half right now on the NASDAQ, and I think that gets worse, guys.
still trying to understand this Uber comment. He said certainly they're not going to buy more stake in DD. Obviously, not sure who wrote that question, but it wasn't the greatest. Let's talk crypto stocks, guys. Just watching coin coming back to the downside. We had obviously pretty volatile 24 hours again in crypto markets overnight. The Evergrande party coming back through. Maybe not congratulations today if you're long on any of these guys, but let's talk coin or whichever you feel necessary today.
So I'll get this out of the way. Like Rob is back tomorrow, so we can get a graphic for if anyone even wants one.
What would you say? It's the opposite of congratulations, like horrible move. Like I don't know.
Capitulation.
Yeah, capitulate. Well, yeah, that could be both opposite side or down.
Yeah, capitulation goes both ways. I'll get this one out of the way. Like it's just we talked a little bit about the risk of we think will be coming on later on this week. 240 is going to stand out like a sore thumb on your 15-minute chart, or I don't know, whatever time frame you want there, guys. But this 240 level. We're already touching, we're touching 239 a little bit here in the pre-market a couple of times. You had some support at that 240 multi-day. Forget about multi-day. It was the entire week's worth of support at 240, right? If we're going to consolidate down here, I'm going to be sitting in front of 240 for a shorting opportunity on Coinbase. And it's pretty binary. 240 breaks, I'm out of it. It's a little bit it's a ways away for me to get into it. We're at 237 on the offer. And there's a $1 spread on Coinbase. Right now as I look at it because the volume's not that high. So I'll let it come to me and just sort of sit in that 239 range. If it pops in, I want to short in front of that 240 level. If we're going to roll over, fantastic. I will have my eye on spot prices just to make sure that we're not, look, if we're breaking out at 44,000, I'm canceling that order if I have a chance to not go short. So I always try to keep an eye on spot just to make sure. But that 240 support, that's going to be the resistance I short Coinbase in front of.
Yeah, I mean, mine was about as clear as day. It's on the sticky note at TraderTV. Sean on Twitter, you already have this level right there pegged, so 240. So it's on the sticky note. Sticky Note Nation, what's up? I don't even think I tagged sticky note in my sticky note, but up to 240 right here. We'll see if it can continue to make some moves to the high side. I like it. It's definitely basing out right here. I mean, this is just a 20-period chart here, so a 20-minute chart. You're not gonna. I mean, this is just one day from 232 to 238, so get a little bit of a carry forward from the day before. A nice move to the downside there on crypto. I am nervous. I mean, we talk about this Evergrande thing as much as we can, but I don't like it. I don't like what it's going to mean for the markets, and I think we are due. I mean, someone said, "What are we talking about? It's not as big as Lehman Brothers or Bear Stearns and all that." No, but the point is that. Yeah, thank God it's not as big as that. I mean, even if it was half that size, and I don't know, I have to look into it. Just because this is another thing. Okay, this is another thing. Just because the Chinese government comes out, or some company comes out in China where their accounting is not even legit, comes out and says that they have $300 billion in liabilities. How much liability do you really think that is? I mean, let's be perfectly honest here. That could be $600 billion. That could be $1 trillion in liability. We have really, in my opinion, no idea of what this number is. So for me, I'm very, very. I mean, I like the break of 240. That happens. I think we got to take it. Or you go short in front of it, and then when it breaks, you take the long. Either way, pick your poison. But the point is that. I'm a little nervous here for what this could mean to Bitcoin. If people start selling it down because of some of this news, then we'll see what happens. Neil talked about Tether and what that could mean if it's on their books as well. So there's already rumors about stablecoins not being very stable or being anything even really behind them. If Chinese real estate is what's behind some of these stablecoins, then guess what? They're not going to be stable for very long. So this is a big problem. It's a big problem for crypto. But I am a... buyer. What up, Randy?
Hey, there he is.
I am a buyer of anything crypto on dips, especially Cardano, especially BTC, and especially Ethereum. So, I mean, I want to be all in on those ones, and I actually don't mind. I think where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire, although I know that Litecoin story has been debunked over and over and over again, and it's definitely not going to happen with Walmart. But the fact that it could happen is something that I think you need to have a little bit of Litecoin just in case somebody decides to take Litecoin. Doesn't have to be Amazon, man. I mean, it could be, Amazon. Ooh,
well,
that would be good. It doesn't have to be Walmart, but it could be somebody.
That was a Freudian slip.
It could be even small. Yeah. Did you hear that Litecoin and Amazon get together? No, I don't have that much Litecoin.
That's like leveling up from Walmart.
I literally bought $500 the other day. So I mean, this is not a huge position, needless to say. But let's see what happens here in the crypto markets moving forward.
Before we move on, because I don't know if it's showing on the position board here, but I did get into NNVC as it broke 510. I had it once in the pre-market here at 525. I got stopped out when it broke 550. And then I just got back into this breakdown. I'm actually going to be offering off of basically the same levels as before, and again, so I'm not sure what's going on with the position board, but if you do look at this high, this was like a 540 level. It's trying to put in a lower high at that range. Until about 920, I'm willing to take it inside this range. But as you guys all know, in like that last 5 to 10 minutes before the open, I usually back off and then give it more room, just because 9:30 is a big event. If it's going to pop, usually I want to short that pop and give it a lot more room than I would while we're still consolidating to the downside. So I am in NNVC to the short side. I have 508 currently. I have room to add a couple of times here. Hopefully that's just that one stock that has an issue, because maybe I was trading it too early or something. I'm not sure why it's not showing.
Hit refresh on your blotter. That probably might work. But yeah, I don't have any comments on NNVC. I know, Brendan, I think you're in that a little bit now.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't traded above that level Neil was talking about since like last year, so it's a huge level. India's government, rather, just coming out saying they won't, guys, buy Pfizer or Moderna vaccines amid local output. So heads up on vaccine stocks. We're going to talk about them anyways on the upside of things, because J&J came out after market yesterday with more positive data supporting the use of a possible third shot booster, or in Johnson & Johnson's case, a second booster shot that put their efficacy rate up to 94% after the second shot of J&J. But that story just coming out for India as well.
I saw that story, Brendan. I don't know, is that 94% against the variants as well? I'm not sure.
They didn't say.
It is?
They didn't say.
Oh, did not say. Okay.
I
was going to say, I mean, I'd rather take, if you're going to take the vaccine, I'd rather take one booster than two. So to me, that might be that's why I ask about that. Maybe you don't need it. Like if you've gotten the Pfizer, the Moderna, apparently there's going to be, and again, the FDA's come out and said that we don't need boosters, or they're not approved quite yet. But J&J, again, we don't have it in this country as far as the vaccine is concerned. But that's great news for them. I mean, I think a 94 efficacy rate, I think that's right up there with the mRNA vaccines as well. I don't think J&J's is an mRNA vaccine, but maybe it is. I don't think so. But anyways, J&J making some moves back to the upside. So again, obviously I'm not super educated on what their vaccine is doing. But the point about J&J is, and we talked about this yesterday, actually when we called up J&J, was that they're right at a nice bottom here, I think anyways. I shouldn't say bottom, a nice level that we should be able to get some value from. They have a nice dividend there. You can see that it's stopping out at 162. It's much more than a vaccine stock. I'm in this, and like you've just heard, it has nothing to do with the vaccine, why we're in this name. I think you just got to keep on supporting this company. We did have some nice dip downs opportunities to buy them, but right now you are like almost historically well below this 50-period moving average, and that's kind of when I'm looking for value plays. How long do these things actually stay underneath the 50-period for, right? I mean, you can always go way back, and we can always look at this move. Never ever, when you're looking at a chart, should you really look at like these drastic moves. We know stocks can fall to zero, and when the market's doing, people think the world's coming to an end, you will get these crazy breaks. But after then, little bit of a dip down, swoon back. Everything is battled back with J&J. Now, whether or not this is a time to buy, I'm not sure. I think that I'd rather take this around 160. We're not too far from there. So I think you're just picking at straws here with J&J. If you're not in it, I mean, I can recommend a buy on this name right now. I think if the market falls another 5% like I anticipate, where's this stock going to go? Like maybe this goes to 158, like down into this area. So I think you're pretty safe buying it right here, especially if you're a bull.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit of Moderna here, just because some levels are gonna get pretty interesting. We talked about 430 yesterday. Like that news, I don't know that it's gonna be okay. Like Indian government not buying them. I don't know that was a gigantic speculation that it would be a big deal. But either way, 430 was the level from yesterday's action. There was a bit of a breakout that we didn't end up taking at 430, but it did stall out in front of this cluster here, and that's that great level, which I don't think we're going to get a chance to shoot at today, which is at 440 to 445. But I'm going to go right back to the well and say if we can get a shot shorting that 430 level on Moderna, I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. I don't know that we're getting it right now. We're already starting to slide. So you would have liked to You would have liked to have held 425 here if we're going to get that bounce up for the good short, but it doesn't mean, you can't throw it out the window. Obviously, yesterday's action, I got a bit of a breakout to the upside before getting into that 430 level, and maybe we're going to get something like that. So I'll stand ready to defend that first level, 430. I like the shorts at 445, 440 to 445 as well. Unlikely we get there. In the event of a huge drop, you cannot ignore 410 on Moderna. It's just, it stood out last week, obviously, as you can sort of see. And then you're going to get that same action. It's the same bottom that it got put in yesterday's pre-market action there, guys. So you can't ignore 410 if it gets down to that price. It'd be an interesting for buy, but I'd have to check in to see what the market's doing overall. And I know we're only 10 minutes left to go, guys. HPLZ did make a break. I did say, well, like I said, I stayed away from the top break on this stock for the pre-market. Based on what last week, it did get to like $38 here. This is my 15-minute chart. I can go over to the one, I guess, and show you a little bit better. And it's now basing out here. I want to say consolidating between 35 and 38. It's really starting to set up that if 38 goes, I do anticipate that the stock is going to halt to the upside. If you take a 38 break, I don't see any way around giving it $3 worth of a stop, right? Because that's halt down possible territory past that 10%. So if you're taking 38 break, you've got to be shooting that you think it's breaking 40 and halting to the upside, and then a 35 stop. Now, I intend on making that trade, but just keep in mind, like, this is not, if you take a 38 break with a 37.5 stop or a 37 stop, it's just, you're likely to get whipped out. I think you have to give it a little bit more room, and the anticipation that if you like that momentum break, you're trying to get more than 40 on the other side of it.
Just before we go back to Brendan, just quickly here, I just want to bring this up because the chat, this is what we're all about, right, is the chat. Well, I mean, we're all about lots of things, but we do love reading the chat, and definitely when I see something on there that makes a lot of sense to me, and I miss a lot of things, but I was reading it. Open-minded Mafia here. Pray that everyone finds peace of mind today and clarity in their decision-making. That's, to me, that's the number one thing, is just have a clear decision and make it, right? Stand by it. That's what Neil and I do. You'll see us sit here and make 100 trades in a day, 150 trades, something like that. But every single one of the trades, I'm hoping for anyways, has a reason behind it.
Oh, shoot.
Yep, we have our ins and we have our outs, and what, NNVC just halted?
Oh, for the love of God.
Okay, I don't know. We'll throw back to Brendan. We'll figure out what just happened.
All right. Yeah.
NNVC just halted?
Just halted, guys. We'll double check on that. Dutch Bros, pretty impressive yesterday, to say the least. One of the first to go positive on the session and then some. This move, guys, from 40.5 to 52, 24-ish% total. But Dutch Bros, laughing at an overall market sell-off. We're at all-time highs, or thereabouts, 53.80 all-time highs for this BROS.
That's funny, Jackie Tucker. I stand by my decision to be indecisive. That's a great one.
I love it. But you know what? That's actually that's a more reasonable thing to say. Because if you can at least admit that you're indecisive about something that you don't know, that's step one. So anyways, if you heard me say like, oh, I didn't say ish, I said, oh shoot. But that was an NNVC just
Did
halted.
You though?
Well, I mean, I see it halted at 515. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll have to see what's going on there. But Bros, oh my goodness. Please don't forget what happened the last time it got to this price. It harshly rejected 54, but really it was like a 52 break that just absolutely smoked it into the downside. Now, I wanted to take a shot at a 52 break, but it gapped up, and you're going to see it gapped up past that price. I paid for shorts for the opportunity to catch a bit of a fail break on this thing. I'm waiting to the open just like I did last time because the stock has a gigantic spread, and I want it to settle down. So I want to try to play this off of that ridiculous first move that it does. And if it puts in a top like this at 55 again, where it spikes up and then immediately flushes down, I want to be shorting that kind of a range. And I don't care. I'm playing it both ways with this one here. Like 48, if it flushes down to 48, holds a 46 level, and I can catch along the other direction off of like 47 or so, then I want to get Bros that way too. But I don't want to touch it in the middle. After seeing what happened on Friday, I think it's a lot easier to sort of let it shake people out and then jump in. So dip buy in the 45 to 48 range. So long as we don't break 45, I like that trade. And then the top side is a much harder trade to pull off because you need it to break 55 even, and it's got to be a snap down. Like, it has to absolutely wash people out, and then I'd be looking for a retracement somewhere in that 53 range. But it's a lot easier to do the dip buy, obviously, than it is to short at that level because liquidity on Bros at the open stinks, flat out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to actually go short on bros at some point today. So I'm paying for the shorts right now. I don't know if we need to. The cost is like 8 cents or something. It's stupid. It's so small here, but I will buy those shorts on bros. Yeah, a lot of talk here on NNVC. Obviously, Neil's in it, and like we mentioned, Brendan's in it as well. To me, and I don't know, I'm probably going to jinx it, but it kind of smells like a share offering. This is what generally happens when you get up to these kind of levels where the stock hasn't really been for a while. It's a great opportunity for the company to raise capital. There's a lot of people here talking about NNVC, so it's a little bit odd because it's at 9:30. Well, 9:20 or whatever time it happened, which is pretty close to the open. But hey, it's better they do it before it opens so that we can trade it, once it does open back up. But this is NNVC, and this is what it looks like. I hope for Neil and for Brendan that it is the share offering. And I mean, it's in the right space that it could be news. It could be news about anything. So we'll wait to see on NNVC. We just talked about bros. I did want to talk quickly before we go back over to Brendan at the big screen here with only 4 minutes to go. Palantir, I just want to tell everyone that it's on the sticky note. We have to be buying this at 26 if it ever gets down there. Again, I think NASDAQ continues to drip down, even though we just made a nice little turn there. Anything down here around $26, I'm a buyer on Palantir. And again, if you look at the 20-minute range, or it says range on here, but 20 minutes, the range is only the day. Down to 25 is going to be the ultimate bottom. I don't think we get anywhere near there today, but I do want to buy this until 26. If 26 breaks, we'll get out and we'll look to put on a double the position if we get back down near 25. So I'm going to support Palantir to 26, guys.
So a couple of quick things. I'm covering half on wherever it happens to open on, just because that's what I always do on NNVC. Beyond Meat, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. It had that spike up. Yesterday's top 115. I want to short into that range. You can sort of see it here at 115.5. It's been a sort of decent bounce off of 100 or close to it, but you're getting into some resistance on the daily at that 116 level. And speaking of NNVC, Brendan?
Hi. Yeah, no, it's pretty quiet, guys, in small cap world. So we'll talk about NNVC. If you go to a daily chart, this is what I was looking at. 550, 560 over in this area, which was March of this year. So it traded above this for 2 days. Otherwise, you got to go way back to last year. So 550, huge level. So they have a version of remdesivir that produced some positive results as far as treatment for COVID-19. That seemed to be the reason they were up. But let's see. I see news pending, guys, for NNVC.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're ever curious, just go to the NASDAQ trade halts, NASDAQtrader.com, and then trade halts here, guys. And you can see this is T1, the code. It is news pending, so that means it might not open at 9:30, right? That's why I want to cover some, because if it opens at like 9:35, there's a million things that are going to be going on at that moment, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, quick poll here. In the next 30 seconds, you guys can tell us who you want to ring the bell. Do you want Miss V or do you want Randy? So I'm going to watch the chat here. Maybe Randy can watch it, or someone can watch it, and we'll see who wins. I have a feeling who's going to win, but we'll wait to see who does win. So put your votes there in the chat, and then we'll do our best to see who does take that out. Right now, LCID, everyone's favorite car company. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, Lucid.
Oh, how am I supposed to read that? The chat is literally going crazy right now for all this. Maggie is not an option.
Anecdotally,
Miss V, I can't read that. There's no way I can read that right now, but looks like I think Randy wins.
It's close.
What about both of them?
Yeah, just both. You guys should both ring the bell because it looks pretty close.
Okay, so anyways.
Are you talking about Lucid, right?
I am a little bit here. I don't know. Magnitude off Chile earthquake doesn't 6. That's not good. Okay, so Lucid right now, taking out some of these tops. Yeah, I mean, we can get Brendan one day to do it. Okay, see what I've started here. Why have I done this? Up to $25 right now. Lucid up another 3%. I actually can't remember what the rally is in this stock and why it's doing this. We did have that pipe expiration come off there, where anybody that wanted to sell could have. Anybody that did, I'm sorry. And now you're all the way up to $25. So I don't know if it was just a relief rally there, but what's happening with Lucid right now is that it's going crazy. A lot of big days in a row now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were just at $19. Now we're at $25. I look to short this name, but I don't want to stand in front of a freight train, which is Lucid to the upside right now the last couple of days. So congratulations, anybody that was involved down here. 17, 18, 19. So that's what that is. DraftKings, I keep seeing them on I'm obviously watching a lot of football. We did sell this off at $62. It's now back here to 56, 57. This is another name I'm looking to buy on weakness. And today, DraftKings down that 1% more than the market. So this may also be a name that is in trouble here as we're taking out yesterday's bottom right now on DraftKings. So that's never a good sign. And it's starting to go down. I wonder if there's news on DraftKings. This is really starting to move, 400,000 shares. But we only have 30 seconds to go.
We're getting
so
time
as
here.
Randy and Miss V try to negotiate who's going to do this.
They're both doing it.
I apologize, guys. This is my problem because I started this for you, but my bad.
HLBZ, we're looking at off the open here. I just want to say, Lucid, that 25 break the last time, that was a almost squeeze top type of break. It immediately rejected. I like it for the same type of move here. If it fails at 25 right at the open, I'm going to go for that one. Didn't get to Tesla, tightly clustered. I want to short in front of that 240, same area that we were looking for yesterday in Tesla, but Lucid looks good on the daily. We talked about it. It's going to be both of them on the bell. It is Miss V and Trader TV Randy. So let's get locked and loaded.
Everybody
it's 5,
wins.
4. In the green, she's wearing 3, 2, and 1.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit of Randy Payne for how loud he does it. And
Hell yeah. It's combo time. Okay, so thank you so much, Randy and Ms. V there, kicking the day off right. So here goes Uber. We started the short right now. Obviously, we can't do anything about this right this second because we are waiting for this to come back to the downside. But here we go. Right now, one more time. Uber, we are short this. We just shorted that 50 like we talked about. We're probably going to use, now that we're rocking and rolling here, we'll probably use maybe 43 as our out as it's ripping up to 43 right
yeah,
now.
I got my eyes on HLBZ. Of course, when NMVC opens, we'll let you guys know, but it's a news halt. We have no idea when that's going to be. Bros is not doing any volume, so no whipsaw action there. We can back off, but here comes HLBZ screaming in towards that 38 level. It looks like it's about to go. Did I even get any shares there? Nope. I didn't even get the long. Do I want to chase it? Oh, no, I did. Wow, that was a bit of a late fill. Now, remember we said on this break, you're really not wrong until it breaks like 35. That's the crazy part about it. Like, this is a very binary type of thing. Like, if it's breaking back to the upside here, I'm shooting over 40 in a halt, otherwise giving it back like 35 level. And the reason I don't give it back to this obvious 34 is just because the risk of a halt down. I want no part of the risk of a halt down in this stock. I'd rather just take the big hit. But let's see if this one can't be a bit of a runner after what we saw the last couple of sessions. I'm really surprised. I have my stop here so I can kind of manage that trade, but I'm surprised at Bros. We're essentially getting zero volume, 100,000 shares, and it is not moving, so I have to move away from it for at least for now and go back over to Tesla, which we did talk about. Bros, I don't want my chart to come up there. Now it comes up, a minute later. But Tesla here, no move to the upside to be able to short that 38 to 40 area that we liked. If I can short on a pop, that's what I had to do yesterday, which is reassess my plan and maybe get a little more aggressive if it decides to pop. But immediately, that HLBZ, wow, like, I'm not getting caught in the halt side downside. But if it breaks 35, I'm going to be gone. I'll take the $3 hit. It is showing signs of cracking a little bit here. But Tesla, I'll wait for my pop.
Did you get anything on, did NNVC open back up again?
No, we're still waiting.
Okay, we're still waiting for that. Okay, Uber, looks like we could be wrong. Well, we will be wrong on this one. We're not wrong on the NASDAQ, as the NASDAQ is falling, but we are going to be wrong on Uber right now, as that's starting to take out 43. So we'll average in one more time quickly here, but it's definitely not looking like a great trade here on Uber, as it's going to take out 43 in a minute. So a lot of great talk there today by the CEO, and it looks like that's going to pay dividends for shareholders as you're now up 8% on Uber and still trying to go. We're going to be out of this one at 43, and then we'll just reassess it where it goes from there. I still like well, here's the top. It's on Uber. It's that 43 and change right here. What is that level? Yeah, 43.40. So we'll get out. We're not going to hold this thing, but now we got to go back to Brendan. What's up, bud?
Speaking of offerings, not NNVC, but DraftKings, guys. 20 billion cash in stock offer for Entertain, according to CNBC. So there was a spike there to the downside, right back up, though, for DraftKings.
Yeah, we just got hit out on Uber there. Now it's tanking.
I just got ticked out of HLBZ, and it looks like it's going to be holding that level. But Bros, of course, Dutch Brothers opening to the downside. There wasn't even that failure. It also doesn't dip far enough to give me the entry point that we would have liked to just go for a crazy dip buy. The volatility simply wasn't there on this stock. And I look at Moderna as well, as we're looking for an opportunity to short off that 430 level. It doesn't show any strength. It just immediately flushes into the downside. One that we should not ignore today, obviously, is going to be QuantumScape. It's still pressing towards the top. It actually made another strong move into 24. And just as I say it, this reverses. Wow, I was just about to say if it makes another shot at the top, I'd try to short it. And that just reversed about $1.50. So QuantumScape's starting to come back in as well. I still have to wait for NNVC. There's not much else to do.
All right, bye-bye, Uber.
Where's it now?
Yeah, it started tanking. So we're actually like, once again, man, we talked about this, that we needed to figure out what the hell we were doing. Again, like, so there goes Uber, right, nice tank. But look where he got out, man. We got out at 43 and then we doubled our position just like we do. And now it's coming back to the downside and we just cashed out a little bit. We have half left of that one, a positive. It's unbelievable that we're positive on Uber here now. But that was embarrassing. Like, why does that always happen to me? I got to figure that stuff out there. We used the even dollar, but we can't do that. So we're going to change our, wow, Uber, okay. Diamond hands on this position at least, but we let them go early, which was a mistake. But Uber right now, we're back to positive land. It's the only stock we've traded here today. We're going to watch Bros. I got to go over to NEO as well, see what that's doing. But look at Uber, nice move.
Yeah, just watching Moderna start to come back up. I want to be shorting this pop. We're getting to 25s. I want it closer to that 30 even. Lucid broke that 25 level as well. I think it's got a decent shot to, I mean, let's just quickly go to the, because it was a wick top and this was a squeeze top and it got to 25, 65 or so before a harsh reversal. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that level for potential selling in front of it. That's what I want to take a shot at. The other idea, of course, that we mentioned was if it was a failed break and you get one of these immediate reversals through 25, we short it. That obviously hasn't happened. I'm now questioning how long we're going to have to wait for NNVC. Just keep in mind, if you're stuck in this,
thank you.
NNVC, it's entirely possible it could open up an hour from now or 2 hours from now or at the end of the day or 5 to 10 minutes from now. Just keep checking that whole page. And of course, Moderna just wants to go nowhere for me. Tesla is getting rather close to that opportunity that we want. It's right back up to those pre-market highs. And like I said, if I'm not going to get a shot at that 738 to 740 level, then I can certainly play off the pre-market highs here since it decided to fall $5 at the open. I'm shorting this pop on Tesla because Moderna won't give it to me. Well,
right,
that's not really.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so right now, NEO trying to get out of its own way, but it's not doing any of its own moves here. Normally, you guys know the kind of move that we're looking for on NIO when it does that tank to the downside there. I don't know if these wicks are real, but it does go down into some of this trouble yesterday of not trouble, but this area here yesterday of 35.10 or whatever that was. So be very, very careful here with that move on NIO. I still think there's a good opportunity to trade this one if you haven't yet today. NEO taking out some of the tops. I'm going to get aggressive here if it takes out 35.90. So I am looking for a top play here on NIO. So that's going to be one thing here for me. NEO, if we do break the top, I like the strength. I don't love these Chinese names right now. I just think that NEO does have a good opportunity here to go. We tried it. We got more short on Uber on the top there. So there it is right there, 42.90. It just tanked on us again. So let's get out of some more Uber here, guys.
Yeah, I just got into that Tesla. It's sort of teetering around that 34 to 35 mark. That'll be an interesting level. Just to check back in on Coinbase, it's holding around the lows. You're not really seeing much movement in Coinbase. If it doesn't start to go, I might cancel this offer as I don't think we're going to get the pop that we're looking for to be a little bit bearish on that name. And Beyond Meat is seemingly the same way. I am canceling that offer. I still like the idea of shorting Beyond Meat, but I think the same way with Tesla, I'll now not wait for that absolute top at a 116. I'd be looking closer to that 113, 113. Half. So the volume isn't nearly what I expected. After yesterday's open, I think you could have thought there'd be way more volatility than we're having here. So at the end of the day, maybe just slow things down a little bit, wait for it to come to you. And speaking of that, this is Dutch Brothers. I don't know if it's going to come back. At this particular point, you're getting a push right down through 49. Remember, we do, or at least I do, I shouldn't say we, I do like this 45 to 48 level for a support entry point. I'm going to be sticking it down in the bid here around like 45 and a half, maybe 46 as well, just to get some to the long side. If this does continue, there has been good support at that price as evidenced by yesterday's trade.
So still no NNVC, huh?
I think this might be a while.
We're getting close. I just imagine I don't have this tick up there. I mean, you coulda, woulda, shoulda here on Uber, but if we don't have that tick, man, do we ever demolish this thing today? But we did get right back in there. So, you know, unfortunately for us, we're not demolishing it, but we are making a lot of money here on Uber to the short side. And we're gonna have to find something else. We are waiting for that break on NIO. What's up, Brendo?
Airlines, pretty strong to start, guys. Delta just popping up here, 2% already, but look at this move already, 41 up to 40 and a half. Big level over here though on the daily chart, this 41 and a half to 42 for Delta.
DAL.
And Lucid looks like it's actually trying to bounce off of 25 even. There is one other name. Oh, we actually forgot all about this one. It was on the watch list. Rewalk, what they do is absolutely fantastic. You know, they make like, it's not like prosthetics, but aids for aids for like legs and walking and whatnot. I think it's
Handicapped,
fantastic.
or-
But it has been an absolute, just every single pop has been faded this morning and shown tons of weakness off of a 165 level. Just to come quickly back here, this is what 165 looks like. It is the most recent high going back into August. So the fact that it wants to show resistance at that price makes sense to me. It just popped there off of the open. So as usual, 930 open type pop into a resistance level means I want to short it. That's a long way of saying I'm going to get on the offer here at 61, see if I can get some 61, 62s, something in this range. Give it a couple of pennies past because it looks like a real top here was at 170. So I want to give Rewalk some. I love everything they're doing, and there's nothing bad about the company here. It's just the pattern that it usually forms here is going to be of interest to me. And then of course HLBZ, it's a good thing we got it that long, but it is breaking to the downside here. So I paid for the shorts. If we break that 30 level, I'll get pretty bearish on this name. It hasn't happened yet. I think it could be coming though.
775. I mean, right now we'll sit here. Oh, my charts aren't going to load. There we go. We'll sit here and we're going to watch a little bit of Clover here because Clover right now, it's near a spot. You can see down here, 775. That's going to be the low from yesterday. And again, I just think it's a good opportunity here. So we will sit on the bid. We didn't get those. We just tried to get 88s there and missed them. But Clover right here, a nice little move back to the upside. So we can always use this 775 as our out. So that, to me, that's exactly where I like it. So we like Clover into that spot. So 775 or so as our out. Hopefully we can get long right now. We're on the bid of Clover. So if we can get that, we will. Still no NNVC, huh? Okay, Clover open now. Or sorry, open. My position's now open on Clover. Long at 788. It rips through us. Not rips through us, we're down to 1 penny. We get filled there on the bid, so now we're holding these shares. So that's what that means. We're now holding Clover shares. Anytime you see a green dot on our screen there, or up arrow would be a long, and a down arrow is a short, and they're color-coded, hopefully appropriately for you guys. But that's Clover right now, holding that against the 775. We'll average in around 780 if it does dip against us. But what's up, Brendo?
This one was on the upgrades and downgrades board this morning, guys. Warner Music Group. Not a lot of volume up here, but this is all-time high territory for WMG, up 10%.
I can say congratulations to Bill Ackman for that one because they own a stake in that. So that obviously went well for them. So congratulations, Mr. Ackman. Moderna did finally make that move. I guess I was sitting there saying, okay, like Tesla, we'll get into that one. But Moderna didn't make that move into 430. It just reversed off of 428.50. I know you guys are like hollering, look at Moderna, it's getting to 428. I like to usually short on the way down, if not instead of the way up. That's what we get here, 427.5 into the short side. Well, I always scalp some out, usually at VWAP or the first round number. That's going to be that 425 level. So I'll hop on the bid there. Tesla is barcoding at least a little bit. I wanted to see it fail off of 738. It's done so, but not that close to 738. So I'm not really adding to Tesla just yet. I could be convinced to do so. The market's not really rolling over in any rapid fashion here. That does bring me to Beyond Meat, and it's like, I don't really have any long ideas that I absolutely love here. I've moved my offer to Beyond Meat down into the 113 and change. Another pop-up, and I will get into that particular position. There is still the matter of Uber here. I don't think, and one thing I will change is I am canceling my bid at this particular point. It was an opening flush that I would have wanted. Clearly that hasn't happened, so you're not getting any panic selling or I guess filling the gap down to like 40 or 41. Neither of those things is coming into play. I will back off. If it falls to that point and then consolidates off a level like that, I will get back involved with it. Like I said, I'm waiting for at least $2.5 on the first of my Moderna trade, and then we'll see what happens with the rest. NNBC, who knows when we're actually going to be open on that one.
Yeah, that sucks. I guess it's not a share offering, or else I think they would have probably said that by now.
I tend to agree. I think
that's like a pretty easy release, right? Hello, guys, share offering. Okay, ATER, we had to pay for shorts. We didn't have them, so unfortunately, that starts to rip upside right there. Still, okay, let's go get off the Clover chart. If you look at this ATER, 1350, and again, this is a 1 minute interval, but if we zoom this back out, hold on, maybe 20 minutes, you could see, there we go, yesterday, that high was the same as today's high, so 1350. That's going to be a good short if it can come back into that area. So we'll look to do that, man. 1350 or so on ATER is a decent short, and if you're long, that's a decent spot to get out. If you were, wicked enough to grab that long. And again, it is also a breaking spot. Maybe it's 1360. What is the high today? Yeah, 1358. So use that as a possibility there. Clover is falling here a little bit, so we just got some 82s. So just to let you guys know, 82 coming through now on Clover, guys. Brendan, was that?
QuantumScape, guys, just popping back up here on a volume scanner, trying to get back to day highs. So 22.5 held there on that little dip down, but still, nice day for QS.
So it looks like ARQQ halted, but I just want to caution everybody that
We laugh about this one, right?
it's actually, the volume is pretty small. It's on 150,000 shares going into this halt. It basically didn't do anything. So a volatility halt doesn't really take much, and it's right at yesterday's highs that it got to. This is a post-market high at 27. So I trade with a little bit of caution. It does give you a chance at a breakout if it reopens, but with liquidity as it is, it's not like you can just put a stop at the current halt price and risk 25 cents. Your slippage is likely to be at least 2 or 3 times that. So trade with some caution here. Moderna looks like it might take out that 430 level. I'm going to get out at 430. If it was a 445 level, I'd definitely be looking to double down, but not on this particular price level at 430 in Moderna. I will watch the reopen here on ARQQ. Had it been closer to this like 27 level, it might have been worth a shot for the long. I haven't paid for short, so I couldn't short in front of 30 even if I wanted to. Looks like it wants to take a 30 almost immediately. If it tries to do a halt to the upside, I think you could try to pull off that, buy into the halt and sell into the open type of deal. But outside of that, liquidity is still pretty garbage on this thing. Like, as fast as it got up to 30 and broke it, it's back down $3. This actually could halt to the downside if it breaks 27.
Yeah, we're going to try to go short on ATER and watch out for this 1360 break. If it breaks that, then we'll go long on this name through ATER. So just an update on that one. If you guys are, looking to say, hey, where are we trading this thing through? ATER, we're going to go short there and then see what happens on the pop back up through 1360 or so. ATER. Okay, we average into Clover. So right now we've got Clover long, we've got Uber short. So the Uber short is working out for us. It doesn't look like it wants to move too much anymore. So we do have some consolidation right now happening on Uber. So we're still short, so we'll hold it. It's been obviously a decent trade for us. So we're going to wait to see what Uber wants to do now. We get blown out right there. That's too bad. But I did double. You can see there's numerous, shares here to offer to the downside. So that actually worked out fine for us. So I am pretty happy so far with this Uber trade. But again, we'll watch out for 43. I want to average into that 43.50. I don't think we get up to that high today, do we? Apple to 144. Yeah, some of the marijuana stocks battling back nicely as I look at my board. Brendan mentioned that share offering by DKNG, so DraftKings. They've done that a bunch of times, man. And after the show, we'll get back to you guys at 350. But, we'll have to check it out because I do remember about these share offerings and DraftKings definitely with them. We'll see how they were received the last couple times. But this is not that bad, man. Down only 1.25% for DKNG. Maybe there's something here. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, it was a terrible transition on my part, guys. It wasn't actually a share offering, but they offered for this UK company. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the name of it again. It's Entain. So they offered $20 billion in cash and stock for UK-based Entain. So an offering of different kinds, guys.
That's almost worse. Like they're offering 20 billion? What is DraftKings even market cap at this point? They're not even profitable, so that must be why. And I don't even. How could they offer 20 billion in cash? Is what I want to know. I'll have to double check. No, and again, as a shareholder, I probably should know.
No, that is their market cap. They're a $20 billion company.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I don't know how much cash they have, but that is definitely going to dilute the shareholders. And see ya, DraftKings. Damn, am I pretty happy with my decision there to dump some DKNG the other day at $62. So right now that's starting to go to the downside. So yeah, good call there, and thanks for sorting that out for us there, Brendo. And on a 20-minute, doesn't look very good there, but on a daily chart, are we coming up? That's 20 minutes. Again, I have to apologize for my charts. I did get good news, though. Apparently the fix is in, and it's just a matter of, I guess, alpha testing it, beta testing. I don't know where they're at with it. But we are getting close to that 50-period moving average right now, so that's $54. It looks like we dipped down to there today. I don't know if that's true or not, but if we did, that's a decent buy. I'm still looking to pick up DraftKings around 50 flat, so that could be a trade that interests my senses a little bit if we get down to there. But for right now, I'm not a buyer of DraftKings until this deal sorts itself out.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay clear of that one as well. I mean,
seems weird, no?
I stopped out of Moderna when 430 broke. I know some will probably give it to like a 435. I'm looking to I'll make a separate trade if we get up into those levels from yesterday where you made that top. To me, I like to take multiple shots at it. You can do it however you want. Obviously, trade your own book. That's just my approach. Rewalk here. I reloaded Tesla in front of 738, and then rewalk. I did get into this one, and then of course I missed it. It spikes up to that 170 level. I missed that as I'm sort of like going over some. I'm actually going over some of those spike names up, and ARQQ came in. I tried to trade that off the halt. It rejects 170. I'm not even getting this one back in until it goes right back to 160. So I end up with the same entry price that we had before. I'll start covering in front of 150, and then if this breaks low of the day, the current low of the day at 148, I'm looking at this previous top here at about 138, 140 for the ultimate out. So we'll have a look at this one rewalk. Could be in this for the greater part of the session. It's not exactly the most volatile name in the world, being a somewhat penny stock at $1.57 or so. So we're in this, and of course, again, I have no idea what's going to go on with this NNBC. And someone was asking in the chat, like, what's your experience? How long could it be halted? I don't think I remember getting in a news halt on a small cap at that particular time ever before.
It feels like it's too much already.
Yeah, that's along with saying I don't know. I don't know when it's going to open back up, but it could be anything from 5 or 10 minutes to half an hour to all day. What we do know is if you go to the halt page, they will give an indicated like reopen time. Like you will see a resumption time, a quote time come up here, and as long as it's blank, we're still in a wait mode. Brendan. Miss B, sorry. I just assumed Brendan.
It doesn't matter.
Hey Neil, Lucid Motors is another nice mover to the upside today. Stock is up around 7%. Could you guys take a look at LCID for us?
Lucid, we sure will. We did short ATER there and got taken out. So we were short at 47, out at 60, now we're 65, and then we pumped the long reversal into ATER. So here we go. So we lose initially, and we will look at Lucid. Sorry, Valerie, we will do that. We lost 20 cents on the first bit, and then we went 3 times more shares long. So this could be a disaster, or double the shares long. This could be a disaster here for us on ATER, but we're going to continue to watch it here. And then I have an out on the 80s if we can get up there, which it looks like we're going to right now. So we're turning a negative trade into a positive trade real quick on that reversal, but it needs to still go. If I get out right now, just to FYI for everybody, I would be flat on this position on the symbol on the day, but we're going to hold this a little bit. It's starting to go up 15%. We'll see what's going on here with Ethereum. We went short right there at 45, like we said, out right there at 65, 20-cent hit in the garbage right there, but now we'll wait to see what happens. It's starting to pull back in. I want to kind of give this thing till down and around here. So yeah, it'll be a decent hit, but let's see if Ethereum can work for us in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, Lucid, as you mentioned there, has blown through, 24, we tried that long. It was somewhat successful in the afternoon show. It runs through that 25 level, right through the wick high on the halt, not on the squeeze back from all the way in like August, and that was a squeeze top. It broke 25, squeezed up, and then absolutely rejected it. I would look next to like $26.50. There is an offer at 26 even. It's not gigantic. It's only 120,000 shares on one gateway, but 150,000 total. If I were to add it up, it's not big enough for me to jump in front of that sword. But ATER has actually piqued my interest there, Sean. So I'm gonna do some diligence on it. Just for those of you that are following ARQQ, it did make another run at the top. It just got to like that 30 level, 30.50 a couple of times here, and we did. Quickly there, just make sure we have it. We did try to get this idea for a short off of the 30 level. It's got a big spread at times, about 30 cents now, but it's a little bit deceiving. I'm taking my shot on QQ as long as I can get those locates, which we have not been able to get yet.
Boo. Okay, CGC here. Apparently, Brendan, maybe you can find out about this story here. Amazon is trying to support the effort to reform the nation's cannabis policy. So, okay, so now you got Jeff Bezos smoking that good, and he's going to be looking to get this rolling. And I wonder why. Amazon probably wants to be one of the first ones to deliver, fresh cannabis directly to your door. For all Amazon Prime members, get 5% off your recent dime bag purchase. But right now, what about a 14 bid? We take out 14 on this one. We're going to go long on CGC here because I don't know. I mean, this is what we're looking for, right, in cannabis world. Normally, I like to short here any kind of pop up. But like I said, maybe this is just one of those things that does start to spark, no pun / pun intended there, for Amazon as we'll sit here and we'll try to smoke this one through 14, Neil. I like this. And I hope NNVC can open up for you guys soon, man. That'd be stressful.
I have no idea what's going on with it. It's a frustrating thing to be in it. HLBZ does not actually roll over off of a cliff despite coming back in after a failed break to the long side. Now, so the one long I had obviously didn't work out here. It's not giving me much of a trade. And ARQQ, as much as I'd love to be all over it, still unavailable for us for locates. We talked about Beyond Meat a little bit here. Again, I'm going to make another adjustment on Beyond Meat, and I will go to the 15 because it's going to look a little bit more clean here. I obviously would have loved to catch a 115 to 116 short. I then moved to the idea of shorting it off of the lower high that it had in 113.5. It was the market is trying to, I mean, we're up at 0.75%, so the market is recovering, and Beyond Meat is going absolutely nowhere into the upside. So I'm looking to see if we can't get a little bit more aggressive, but I don't want to start chasing it when it hasn't moved. It is set up to me to go ahead and shoulder this breakdown, but I don't want to be chasing this down to like a 112 or a 112.50. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and see if we can't still get something in the 113 to 113 half range, especially with the market trying to go up. Brendo?
Yeah, this Amazon story, guys, was a blog post. Apparently, it's also not the first time that this has come up. This is back in June. Forbes, in fact, had this as well. That they were pushing for the legalization back at the beginning of the summer. So this latest one also coming from a blog post as well. Just someone's opinion, I would say, at this point.
Well, my opinion, too, is that Amazon should get involved in the cannabis reform over there on the U.S. side. So that's my opinion also. Doesn't seem to be hitting the news wires, my opinion, like that story did. So, okay, Uber's right now back up. So we've gotten out of it. We only have 20% left. We talked about that as we got them all out right here. You could probably find literally eight ticks right here, getting out of 10% every time. So we have a couple more bullets to fire. I think we're going to start them right now as we're getting close to 43. I still have, and you know what? We're positive on Uber now. Thank God, after that horrendous out that we had, which again is all on me. But we're going to look at this level right here, which maybe I can zoom in just a little bit more. What exactly is this? 43. Yeah, we're getting too close to that now. 43.20 coming to the outside. I was going to wait for 43.50. So let's see if Uber has a 10% move in it today, up to 43.50. So we're going to wait on Amazon, but right now I still think there's some potential. Or sorry, on Uber, I still think there's some potential for this to get faded. So we're going to short this thing up to 43.50. Let's get ready to put on some shorts right now and see about this. We'll hold this 50 more cents against us, and we just missed a good opportunity right there. But we'll get back on this horse.
Yeah, and that EDSA. I think there was a question this morning. It was like, oh, Neil, what do you think about shorting an EDSA as a day two type play? I have an offer in front of $10, and I've had it all morning long, and I should have adjusted it. This is ridiculous to watch it pop right at 9. It's not right at 9:30, but just a couple of minutes ago on volume, and then I'm sitting at 85s. It actually just stalled out at 980, and you're going to see it already start to flush to the downside. So that's my luck this morning, missing it by 5 pennies, and it's already now down at 937. On the idea that the lower high now has the potential to hold, I'll try to get something in here at about like 935 to 950, and then see if we can actually get some liquidity on this name. I'm going to have to chase this one at least a little bit. Wow, that was actually not that hard to get into it. Getting like 9, it's got 26s pretty easily there on the offer. If it pops back up to like a 35 to 40 range, I'd certainly add to it. Although I don't want the wick top anymore. Forget about 10 even. I think that's a separate trade. I'm going to be shooting for that 950. I'm not convinced yet that this is turning into like an up kind of day. I know the market's trying to do. And we can actually look at the market just for a quick second. I know we're actually trying to bounce, and we actually 15,000 and that half mark, and we're trying to continue to break out. But it's not exactly screaming to the upside at this particular point, and it is resisting some levels from earlier on in the session. So I'm sticking with the short side of the trade, which is kind of what I was feeling. I'm staying away from Moderna. I know it's back up to 432, but I want a separate trade at that 435 level. Tesla hasn't really broken back below that 735 mark, so I'm still sort of hanging on to that one. My short is 735.25, or just above that. This rewalk, I mean, like I said, could just be a boring one all day long. I did add to it at that 160 level. If it breaks 155, I think we're smooth sailing for this to fall, hopefully for the rest of the session. And I mean, like I said, at NVC, we could be waiting all day.
Yeah, Lucid there. I was going to say Lucid there. Lucid starting to make some moves as well, as we'll continue to watch them and see where we go from here. I haven't traded this yet today, but LK. And what is it? LKNCY. LKNCY. Up right now 17%. It was, anyways, at one point. It looks like it's come back down. Off of 17, yeah. So it was. No, this is the daily chart. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So on the 20-minute chart, it was up there. Oh yeah. So this is just. It just showed up on my radar here because of the move it's been having. But up to 1740, and now all the way back to the downside. So this is obviously just some talk here about the Chinese, and it continues to fall down. So we have to look at Alibaba and some other names. This just caught my attention here. Luck and Coffee. Shout out to Jeff Mendel from OTC fame. All the way to the downside, 1750 down to 15. 15.50 right now. So anybody holder on Luck and Coffee. Don't know if there's a story here, Brendan, or not, but this is a nice fall, man. This is $2 on 17, almost straight down. So watch out for that if you are interested. Our ATER is about getting close to being out, man. We tried it. We went short first, then we got taken out, and this will be the only loser that we have on board today. And unfortunately, it's going to happen very, very soon as we're going to be getting ready to get kicked out. We did try one more long ahead of 13, so let's see if that holds. But right now, Ethereum looks like it wants to fall back in, and that's why we're just using some of these levels, right? We're not going to hold this one until the grave, so we're going to hold it until about 1280. So down here, basically the day's low for Ethereum, and this is what we're talking about. Try to have some kind of outs on these plays, right? So that's going to be an out for me, and I think it's well worth the risk. And then Uber as well. That was a good idea. Look at that. We shorted it again up there, guys. So let's cover some Uber right now for 50-cent win. We just told you that we're taking this short, and there it is right now. Uber, hell yeah, timber Uber. Great day for Uber, man. Up 7%, but we hit that 43 short one more time, and now it's Cash City to the downside on Uber.
I just covered some Tesla at that VWAP. It's essentially break even to trim because I want more shares if it goes to 737. And of course, it's Moderna that starts to roll over a little bit harshly through 430. I didn't re-enter it. We did get EDSA, I should say, twice in that 20 range. So I got 24.5 as an average price. I'm still trying to add to it in the 30s if I can, but it's starting to consolidate. This was a big miss for me because I did want to short in front of that 10 level, and there was that chance. If I'd been, and I should have been in front of the quarters, admittedly here, instead of trying to get that perfect price. And sometimes you try to get a perfect price like 985. That's just me being greedy. I don't get it. Obviously, we're going to Brendan at the big screen because it's already 10 o'clock. Still no NNVC open, but let's find out what's happening.
Please open lower.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at North American markets here. We are holding on to gains nicely. In fact, the S&P about 0.5% there, the Dow 0.73, 0.75 in or thereabouts. The NASDAQ as well, nicely higher, still 0.5% to the upside. Small caps doing nicely, 0.65 here in Toronto. Also in positive territory for the TSX today. A few things we were discussing. Pre-market SDC, yeah, continuing its slide that we saw initially yesterday, but we got that bounce late in the day. But back to the downside for Smile Direct. Johnson & Johnson, we were talking about these vaccine makers. Disregard this gigantic wick. This is actually a pretty good move, about $1.50 through that high from the pre-market for J&J. Guys, back to you.
Justice Department preparing to challenge JetBlue alliances. So JBLU here trying to move. But oh, what a great trade that was on Uber. We'll punch that one out, guys. Really super, super happy with that. I mean, not happy with ATER, but we're happy with that one. And we're holding on to our Clover. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not worried about it. It's not a very heavy position, as we're not going to put that much into Clover, as that's, we're trying to catch a falling sword on that. What did I say? JBLU, JetBlue. We're going to find out a little bit about that. It looks like they're questioning the JetBlue and American, so American Airlines, some kind of an alliance there. And again, I apologize, not super familiar with this, but we are down now 1.61% on JetBlue. It looks like it wants to fall in here. This is a name, I guess, and if it falls too much more, you could get some interest on JetBlue, I guess. Down to 14.75 or so. Some nice support here. So we'll watch out for JetBlue, guys.
Yeah, worth a look there. And congratulations, Sterling Silver. I was just so timid with Lucid and where to get in because the levels that I liked, admittedly, there wasn't a turn, an actionable turn at the prices that I would have loved to see. And unfortunately, that's going to be the case. If I don't have an entry point, then I'm not going to make the trade. I just didn't have one on Lucid. I'm still holding on to that Tesla, of course. It's only about $1. I mean, it just went, an average price now 36. So I know it'll sit there $1 in the money, but 35 has been a lot of resistance. Just to come back over to another one, that EDSA is starting to roll over. It just spiked and gave me that fill that I wanted to get some more shares at 35, but we're still looking to cover some in front of 9 even, and then in front of that low of the day. It's kind of a double bottom, although not really, at 870. I am looking to cover some shares in front of it regardless, not irregardless, just regardless. HLBZ, this is going to get ridiculously frustrating. But I wanted to come back over to this HLBZ, not NNVC, I was about to say. HLBZ. It tried to break at the open, didn't work. Now we're putting in a lower high. It does not break 30, so I don't go super bearish on the stock. But at this particular point, my plan of action is if I was waiting for a 40 break, I'm now looking for 40 area as resistance. If it makes a push through 39, I'm actually looking to short this thing. I've gotten to that point on HLBZ. If it breaks 39 and does not get through 40, I'm looking to short in front of 40 even. That's going to be a play for me on HLBZ. I will not be buying a dip. I will not be taking a breakout again. I'm only looking for shorts now. Okay,
and we're trying to lick our wounds a little bit here on ATER as it's coming right back to the upside. So we did average in now. You can see our average price is 57. So we just took some out at 33 or something. I tried to take some out at 43 again there. Or let me just be honest with you. Let's see. Not on. I mean, yeah, 43 just hit off or enter. So if this can come up to 43, then we will gladly take another piece out right there as ATER trying to find that bottom. I don't know. Like we're already stuck up here, 57. Like I think if it gets back up here, that's fantastic rebound there in ATER. So we will watch out for that one, trying to come back to the upside. I guess our NEO really didn't do anything, right? We were looking for see if that would took out the top. And I did tell you when NASDAQ was at 0.5 that I thought we were going to go negative. So we're getting close to that. It's about chopped in half from now. But NEO is coming to the downside. It doesn't take out our high. We were waiting for that 35.90 break. I guess, you know what? I'm actually going to cancel that right now. Any action that sort of hasn't happened yet, I don't really want to get involved right now. It's 10 o'clock. The market's kind of making up its own mind here. So what we have to do now is try to find the right spaces. Get in the right names, like Lucid's a great one. I mean, Lucid, again, like play names that are rallying or, you know, whatever.
Going down
that are
and
moving.
Tesla just stopping it.
Oh, you stopped out on Tesla. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll throw it back to Neil, but just Lucid right here makes that high at 26, and now you're bouncing off VWAP. So this could be a spot here for LCID. And not that Brendan has, I mean, he has an unlimited amount of work, but I don't, do you know, Neil, like why did Lucid rally like this in the last couple days? I must have missed a story.
They caught some upgrades. Yeah, and like they were, I mean, they're essentially being picked as a potential one of the winners, and ultimately, I mean,
okay,
I'm sort of hands off because I haven't participated in that rally whatsoever. So what was that? Right, So Randy's saying they sorted out some production problem, which is obviously fantastic news for them. Whether it warrants the rally that we've had the last week and a half, I'm not sure. Whether anything warrants the rally that we're getting in Cassava Sciences, I usually tend to say no. Thank you guys for pointing this one out. Big time parabolic move just up just a couple of seconds ago, minutes ago. This is 53, the most recent high that it has. You know I like to short the pops in this name. The market is barely rallying, and I just got stopped out, and Tesla is now screaming past 737.40. So thank God I got it at 738. Yeah. We're now $4 up on that break. I wasn't looking for the long in Tesla,
really
admittedly,
up?
But I am looking for an opportunity to get in front of Cassava Sciences first at 53, and then anything close to that 57 to 60 range is a screaming short on that name. HLBZ, like I said, I'd like to take that one the next time. And EDSA.
Wow.
This is starting to work into the downside. I have taken one leg out. I have a bid for some more shares here. It's the only short that's worked for me.
You know, there has to be some kind of news on Tesla.
Something happened to Tesla.
I think the short makes sense to me. But Tesla just, again, was that a technical level? I mean, I don't really... Where did you get out? 40 or 38?
I got out at 38.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because
that's so lucky there.
I was gonna. Yeah, lucky or not. I mean, you put the order in and you got filled. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. So right there, I just want to say maybe this is, I don't see anything on the newswire, but that's, I mean, you know, if there's something, we'll get to it. But it might just have been. I mean, it's a good thing. Like I said, I don't think it's lucky for you, Neil. I think that was a good out. You do have 38 here as these kind of bottoms. It might have just been a technical break because what's happening right now is the NASDAQ is coming to the downside as predicted. So let's watch out here for Tesla. Maybe Brendo has something. What's up, my man?
The only thing I've seen, guys, is a big volume spike in call options on Tesla, but that was about it. There wasn't really anything as far as a story. But I also wanted to mention the Luckin Coffee story, Sean. I saw that this morning. They just updated their expansion plans in China, so they opened a whole bunch more stores in China. So that was apparently going better than expected, which caused the initial gap, I guess, for Luckin.
Yeah, so I want to stay away from that one. I just don't like. It's hard. It's hard to recommend, investing in any Chinese companies right now. I mean, I'm already dug in, and I'm dug in for sure because it's in my RRSP account. It's a longer term account. The only Chinese name that I own right now, and I want to get into some more, and I may buy that ETF, the FXI, the Chinese 100. It's just a big cap. I don't know if it's 100 or not, but FXI just to spread around some risk because you could see here Alibaba. I've loved it, and it's actually funny because Trader TV Randy's here, and we were talking about this, and I loved Alibaba, and I actually, where's my daily chart on this name? I actually was really upset. I mean, not upset, but about as upset as I can get about missing a trade, which isn't that upset. And it's going to be over here when we broke through 220. It was right this level, right here, that I felt like this was a great opportunity to buy Alibaba when we broke here. And sure as hell was from 220 up to 320. Now we had a lot of, I mean, the market rallied, so that was a great move. And I don't know if I would have got out. I probably would have got out on a 300 break to the downside, at least some of it. But then we just started averaging in. Well, we didn't get in until about here, 230, 240. Then we took some more trades down here at 220. And then again, I believe I could check it out. I'll have to find it. It's in my longer term account, not right here, which is why I can't show you. But I believe that we averaged some in here about 180, 190 was the last buy. And now I'm holding the bag down here to 150. So my average price in Alibaba is like 210-ish, maybe even 212 there on Alibaba. So this one needs to rally pretty hard, but hopefully it does that in the next 20 years. What's up? What's your name again? Brendo?
I was just trying to find that DraftKings story again, guys, but just had an alert on this one. Let's take a trip, shall we? This is Entain trading over in London, guys. So this is the company that DraftKings is apparently making a $20 billion offer for. So this halted, obviously it resumed, is coming back to the downside, but this is ENT over in London.
And guys, we did it again on Uber.
No, Lucid did not halt.
Lucid did not halt.
Lucid's not halted, guys.
You got pratted there.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. And what does that mean? Is when you just put a random symbol in the chat? Like some guy put like D's nuts or something in the chat?
No, it was just D's.
And then this is Pratt, D's nuts. And he's just doot, 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 doot. He's like, what's going on with D's? And then once you say that, especially around us,
you know what's
trapped when that happens. So we will not be looking up stock D's right now. But on that talk, you could go to the gates of hell, Uber, and you can go there real fast. And it's just, again, just short. It's a great day for Uber today, a fantastic day. But we shorted one more time right there on the upside, 43.05. Don't quit your day job. No, I'm okay, Randy. I'm loaded up with coffee here, if you can't tell. 43.05 right now to the downside, and we are still trying to make some moves. I just realized that we bounced off view up, so we put some more orders on the downside right now. My number one stock today, obviously, is going to be Uber. We haven't traded a whole hell of a lot. ATER trying to make moves backside here. I thought I had my 40 offer. I guess it just went to 38 there. We have 43 offers sitting there. Hopefully that'll get filled at some point. And again, just a little bit of a warning shot there on ATER that we are trying to get a little bit more out. It doesn't look like it wants to go, but that doesn't mean it's not going to go. It just doesn't look like it right now. And then Clover is getting, Clover's getting close to that 75, but it just broke it. We didn't have an order out. This is not a huge position for us. And we did it yesterday, and we've averaged into Clover before and got paid off. So this is the one day on Clover. If I can maybe zoom in just a little bit more here, it's not it's a $7 stock. I'm not, as far as worried goes, I got 99 problems. Clover really isn't one. But 750 maybe might have to be some kind of a breaking spot. There's actually nothing here on a daily chart that tells me that. It's just, if we're going to get out of it, we have to get out of it at some point, and I'll probably make the mistake of getting out. You know what? We can hold it for this bottom. Why not? That's 740. So let's average in again if we get down, like maybe even now. We'll take another bunch of shares. We're out here a dime right now on Clover. So let's let this drop another bit here in the 60s. We'll take some more shares, and I'm going to hold out for this 40 level. Hey, look, man, I could take a 30-cent hit on Clover any day, so we'll see. Hopefully we don't, but that's going to be my spot right there. This bottom, man, I mean, this Clover's been really sad. We ran to 11, and now we're just chilling out down here. It's one good piece of news away from coming back to 11, so I do like it, but right now Clover getting stuck right here at 750. Wow. Let's take another average in the 60s on Clove, guys.
So I was going to hit a celebration key for EDSA. I'll get to that in a second, but I did get an entry point here on a breakdown in HLBZ. It broke the 34 level after a big rejection at 37. It then broke to 34, which was a previous support. So I just went short of 33.85. And once again, I'll give it to that recent top. I'm bidding in front of this cluster here at 31. I want some out in front of the lower high. And then if it gets to 30, I want to hold through a 30 break. So I'm going to take the more shallow exit. And then if it breaks that level, look to hold through the deeper one there just to see what happens. I'm now starting to look very, very seriously at that. Cassava Sciences has made that other break. It just took out a fresh high. Now remember, I am waiting on the daily chart. You're looking at 53 as first level, and then about 57 to 60 is the next one. So we're getting close. We're about $1 away from looking to reverse on Cassava Sciences. And to my luck, it's like Tesla, which the market's still looking weak and falling to the downside. The NASDAQ just turned negative. And the one that I was with the tighter stop on and then waiting for it to go a little bit higher to make the short on was Moderna. And if I had approached it the other way around and did that with Tesla, we'd actually have a winner on. But unfortunately, read them both wrong today. It's going to happen, and it's happened to me on both these names. And we're still stuck in NNVC at this point. I kind of am giving up hope that we're going to actually be out of this one or getting a resolution until later on in the session. I'm doubting at this point that it's an offering. I'd almost say it's not. It just doesn't seem very likely to me that it would take this long to announce an offering. HLBZ, have to watch out. Always have a stop on something like this because I don't want to get caught in a halt on HLBZ. It's one thing in NNVC to be in a halt.
Yes.
HLBZ, that thing could be at $50 if it wanted to be in a matter of like 20 minutes or so, whereas that's just not happening in NNVC. I mean, now that I said it, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, and again, just stay tuned. If you are stuck in that NNVC, you're not going to hear news faster than our channel right now. So obviously, Brennan, he has filters set up, stuff like that. So the minute some NNVC news comes out, obviously, we're stuck in the trade. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, this is the best space for you guys to be right now, is right here live with us every day, let alone when we're ready to break news on stocks that you guys have. Like our other friends here, CNBC, excuse me. I don't know what, just had a little cough there.
Who?
I don't know what it was, some CNB something. They're not even going to be talking about NNVC, right? And if they are, they may be doing it at 4:15 or something tonight, right? So stay here with us. We're going to trade the names that you guys want, and we're trading them actively. So I already have 70 fills. I mean, there's a lot of fills going on here for us today. Look at Bros, 53. So there's a nice drop. We did pay for some shorts there. I was waiting for something to short, and it looks like here we did have that opportunity early. Now I'm kind of focusing on this area, man. 50, 51. Something like that on the upside there, guys. And thank you, Kling Daddy, for that. Yeah, right on, Sean. Yeah, bless you. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's flu season, right now. So maybe we do have some more sneezes than we did thought about. And my opinions are mine and mine alone, not those of Trader TV Live or its affiliates. We don't even have any affiliates. What am I talking about? Okay, upside here, 50, 50, 51. If Bros gets back up to here, then we will short this name right around $51. So let's watch out for Bros there. I like that call. We'll see if it gets back up there. Right now, it's just kind of chilling. It's not doing anything. That spread, Neil, is nasty, man. 30 cents on Bros. So
it's not nice.
It's not nice. So we'll wait to see what Bros wants to do for us. But right now, we are waiting for that to get back up to 51 as our Uber trade is coming right back up to 43. So that was a good out. My charts don't change, but again, I've been told that this is going to work at some point. Right back up to the short. How many times of this do you want to test this well, guys? I think we're done for now on Uber. We'll just hold what we have, and we'll short a little bit higher if it continues to go up, guys. But a big trade for Uber for me today.
And no one's really liking this this DraftKings news, obviously. You can see it's actually trying to bounce off the 50 period. It's done so. Well, I was about to say it had done so, but it's now coming right back in below. It's sort of forming out, and then you get this like wick bottom down to 454, hold essentially around that 50 period, and then trying to break back into the upside. I just can't get behind this thing. I almost wanted to make a bigger flush down before maybe hunting for a bit of an offer there. That ATER, which did pique my interest, it's starting to make it look like it has a shot at running back towards the high. Right, like look how many times it's held this like 1280 to 1290 area. If it does put in another break, break towards that 14 even, it is worth noting there aren't obvious levels. If you go to the daily chart, you're really just looking at the lower high at this 1350. So you want to see a failure here if you're a short side trader. I think if you break 1350, wait for 14 even, forget about that 1380 level. And I'm still in that EDSA trade. I will try to reload it if I get a chance above 9, closer to 925. Brendan, what do you have for us, buddy?
Another one that can get exciting when it wants to, just popping up here. Genius Brands, you remember 6% already. This thing got all the way down to basically $1 and change here. So not a huge move yet, but big volume spike there for GNUS.
Yeah.
And, I want to go back to ARQQ just very, very quickly, just so you guys know. The only thing I can say is we don't have any locates. We didn't have them. It was sort of an obvious, I think an obvious one given the way this thing is traded in the past, that when it rejected 30, you're looking for the short side of the trade. Always just take your profits when you get a double top and a rejection like this. There's a chance to get out at 29. There's a chance to get out at 28, 28.5, where traders would be shorting this if we had the locates, and now you're all the way back to the breakout price at 25. And we kind of chuckled when the name came up, and it's not anything against the stock, but I think it more had to do with the fact that this is coming right back down. We just didn't have a chance to be able to short this one, unfortunately. HLBZ is doing this thing where it calms down, and hopefully this is just the I guess lulling people into a sense of complacency here, and then we'll come back into this 32 level. It has put in a lower high. It's rather binary for me. If it takes out the lower high, I'll get out of it, and then I'll even look for a short off the 40 level. At this particular time, I'm not very bullish on this name, just the way that it rejected the breakout at 38. I will say, if you go back to the last move that it did make, it did try to psych you out at least a couple of times, but this was a little bit later on in the session when it made its top. Just on the idea that this is a bigger parabolic move, I think it could flush a little bit earlier today as people get awfully greedy with this stock. So I'm in front of the 32 level, and I'm trying to hold through a 30 break, where I believe 25 is the next the key level into the downside on HLBZ. I would not be trying to shoot for more than that if this thing does start to really flush.
Yeah, HLBZ, that was one that was expensive. I know Neil paid for the short, so that's hopefully going to be a good move for that. Okay, ATR, just got some out at VWAP. I'm still holding like 75% of this trade. Hopefully we get back to the upside. We're using 1280 as our out. I just don't like how it's bouncing around. And you know, we've made money today, so we're trying to preserve a little bit of capital here if we can. Okay, so now Uber's off, guys. Uber is off to the races, and this is the final shot here for me right now on Uber. So I don't have to do anything. I have the amount of shares that I want. I have everything that I'm happy with, and we're going to wait to see if this goes to that 43.50 level. And if it doesn't, then yeah, we should have a decent winner on here. But there's nothing wrong with covering as we are short right now, 23. So if we can get something back into the teens, we'll take that right now on a big move up for Uber right there. Coming back in, we just shorted 30s. We talked about that. I said, how many times are we going to dance with the devil here? And it's not going to be one more time. We waited for a little bit of a high tick there, and now all of a sudden we're 10 plus pennies in the money, not on our average price, but on that tick right there at 30. So let's wait to see here. If it comes back to the downside, we do want to get some out. Our target's 43.50. If it comes out there, it comes out there, and we'll see what goes on. But right now we're holding Uber. And we said before, and again, I hate being right when the market's going to go down, but I did think that we had a chance to go negative today when we almost just did. And look where we bounced off again. 15,000. So how many times is that going to happen? That's a very, very key number. So happy to see that. And I will address, we did get a super chat, and I did see you here. And when we get back from Brendan, it's from you, Eric S., talking about putting some cash back into the market right now. I will address that, and I'll address that when we get back from Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Everyone knows this story by now, but I'll talk about it again. These levels aren't going to matter one way or the other when this opens, most likely. But 550 on the daily chart we were talking about. Above that, there's the day high, 575. This is one in the past that anytime something like this has happened, you can see this is just going back a couple months, but anytime it gets a pop up like this, it immediately fades that. So I really like this one this morning, but we'll see what happens with this news. Very rare. 925, 928 or so, they halt for news pending. EDSA was in this as well. Pretty sleepy trade, 950 and then 10 above that. It's just kind of grinding to the downside, not really doing a heck of a lot for that one so far. BKYI was another one that was moving around here in the pre-market. Not a huge mover, but 370 was this support area, broke that, finally tested it again. We're starting to come back down. Decent volume still on BKYI. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brennan. I'm going to make an adjustment again on HLBZ. It starts to roll over. It holds at about 32.5, so it goes like $1, maybe like in change in the money there. But I'm going to tighten things up a little bit around this 35 level. I kind of want to, as it slides into the downside, what I want to do here is the slower it moves, the more I want to draw back my bid closer to that support at 31, and I want to draw my stop in a little bit here. And again, I'm still going to try to hold some shares through that 31 break, and then hopefully through that 30 break if it wants to continue downside. I'm still in NBC along with Brendan, so we're waiting for that open to come. Lucid is again taking out the top, so I missed out. There were no levels for me on the short. Like I liked, if it had turned around 25.65 or so, which I was hunting for, like this move here, I probably would have shorted this if this top was 15 pennies higher. And now that we're going continuously higher, remember I said I'm looking at 26.5, and this is just why. I mean, you did have a close up here on the opening, on the first day of trade. when it came to the NASDAQ here, and we're getting very, very close to that level. So I will hunt for this. And again, you should always have a plan of action if you're going counter trend. That's just my game plan. So I can like it for a reversal in and around a price, but if I don't get the entry that I want, I'm not going to take the trade and I'm not going to force it. It just turned a little bit off of 32, showing some signs of weakness. If I see further signs, I definitely want to jump into some shares off of that quarter level and then see if we can't dig a little deeper. You guys know that I got stopped out of that Tesla trade. And at this particular point, it seems like it was the right way to approach it because Tesla is continuing to go. And we bounced off 15,000, but it's not like the market is screaming off of that level on the NASDAQ and the ES. I'm not seeing anything but weakness there as well as we get close to turning red on both of those markets, not quite doing so. But Tesla, very, very strong, as we said on that call buying. So I was managed to get out of this one by the skin of my teeth. Again, had a bit of a stop, which worked out for me. I did trim some at that 735, which was close to, a small winner on it. But that was only the first third, and I reloaded the trade at 37, so it's nothing but a loss for me. I don't love anything in terms of reloading a short trade on Tesla unless you got back up to 46 to 48, which is up here yesterday's pre-market high.
All right, so there it is, man. We'll flush down, we'll put in the gates of hell Uber there as it goes right up to 50 and gets us out. And of course, I did the patented move one more time where we shorted that because, again, look at this big, huge wick to the, I don't think that happened, but a bit, or did it? No, it wouldn't have, no, because I was bidding down there, so I would have got out. So again, that wick there getting blown out the top, it looks like it'll go one more time. We'll get out if it gets out, if it goes up too much more than this, but we did try one more time here to short Uber off that pump. So a nice move, man. Uber, wow. Great move to the upside today, 10%. Didn't think we'd hit that, but again, we are near some levels where I just think that Uber could probably fade out here. I can't even find my daily chart, but it was this 43.50 area, and it was a little bit even higher than that, but we'll see. Oh, Joe Biden says we are not seeking a new Cold War. Really? That's good. I'm glad they're not seeking that.
So AMC alert.
AMC alert. Okay, we'll go over there. What's going on?
AMC just broke. It just broke yesterday's bottom, but it's worth noting that bottom on AMC, if you go, this was a breakout price at about 38.85 on the daily chart. And then, of course, like I just mentioned, you have yesterday's bottom just below that at 38.50. It's taking it out. The closer we get, and of course, there goes HLBZ breaking 35 even, so that's going to be 0 for 2 on that particular name. But AMC alert, like I said, breaking yesterday's lows. This would be an interesting turnaround point for AMC after it's going to trigger some stops at both that previous 38.85 area, but also 38.50, and we just held the 38.20 level. So with this trying to snap back, I want to take my shot here the long side in front of 38. I always like it when you make a jailbreak to the downside and then reclaim a stop level at 38.50. So if it wants to try to hold up even a little bit at that 38.50, that's going to be an entry to the long side for me. That's a nice little wick bottom. So I'm going to dig in on AMC for the first time today. It's been a few days since I've traded AMC, but I like that setup. You let it travel into the downside, stop some people out at the bottom, hopefully relieve a little bit of pressure, and then see if it can hold this low.
Yeah, 38.50 was the break. Yep, and then you get it. Yep, that's good. That was a good one. That's going to be a good call there, hopefully on AMC. But we'll see there, 38.50. I do like that one. I was just looking at here. I mean, it's this break right here, 38.75. You take that to the upside, and then we'll see where we rock and roll as well with that one. So AMC, and that could also be a decent short spot, 38.75. And I do like a 39 break there to the upside as well, off of that 38.20 low. So there's something there on AMC, down 4+% today. It's been a crazy one there. Okay, Apple's trying to go. You can see the NASDAQ, and again, man, we did call this one. We did call this NASDAQ trade possibly going red, so we should have put on a Q's position or something. We're going to start to do that a little more often now that I remember about these things. So there it is. So Uber, one more try, and we'll be done on that one. So we do turn red on Uber because of that last little try right there. We tried it one more time. Uber up 10%. Great trade for anybody that's on that Uber position. ATER does fall as well. So some of the names, like today, we're not going to go perfect. Yesterday was 6 for 6. Today is not going to be that, but it's going to be hopefully a profitable one for us at the end of the day. We are still very, very close to doing that. It's Peloton's 101 right now. That could be near a level that HLBZ still moving around, and that's at $35. Lucid, wow, 26.25. We talked about picking up some of those on the downside, and maybe Palantir. I mean, Palantir right now starting to go red on the day, so that is a little bit of a concern here. But we've bounced off this 26.50 a lot of times. So if the market again, I can't go long Palantir and have a bearish stance on the market. That doesn't, that won't make much sense. But again, and I don't really like to go short this name. I don't mind it. I just don't, if we take a short on Palantir here, the breaking spot is going to be 26. So maybe this is something right here on Palantir on this break. What is that bottom? 26.44. So you know what? Let's try it here. We'll see if we can break out through 26.45 to the downside on Palantir, just because the market, I believe, turns red and maybe this thing goes to 26. So we'll try a Palantir short right now.
And that Lucid, it's starting to check up again. Now remember, I like 26.50 is the overall possible turning point on Lucid. I know we're getting really close there. It just broke the high again. It's starting to give you a little bit of consolidation, setting up for, and it's going to be like a bit of a bull flag for a lot of people if it does consolidate here. But I like the entry if it's off of a level that I'm going to obviously like on the daily chart. That's the only way I want to play this to the south side, and we're getting really, really close to it. I wanted to add the AMC, but I don't want to chase it too close to 39. So it's right back to this 65 level. If it dipped down to 38.50, maybe I'll get some more shares that way. But I don't want to miss out. Lucid was literally 1/3 of a cent to short this thing, but you do have to pay for shorts, by the way, just in case you're looking at a Lucid. That's essentially free, by the way. I mean, 1/3 of a penny for a stock it's doing 30 million shares in volume. And if it pulls back, I just got into some shares Lucid here at 26.32. If it pulls back, I mean, you can be at 26 in a heartbeat. If that cracks, I think 25.75 is a reasonable pullback, let alone 25 even, which was a big level if you go back far enough as well. So Lucid, I just got the dip short. I would have added to it if it got closer to that 26.50 mark, but 26.32 will have to do for now.
Hey, I'll buy some beachfront property in Arizona if it's on the cheap there. Beachfront property, hold on a second. Someone also selling in Shanghai right now. So yeah, I guess we're turning into like an open door here where you just put your products on our chat and then we can start to sell them. But yeah, we're just joking. We're not going to be doing that anytime soon. Yeah, no, we did not. I mean, Uber is not a winner for me today. That is for sure, but it's not that big of a loser because of what we were able to do right here. So we did take our last shot. Remember what I told you guys? We were only into 20% there. So we made that a full 100% at that level, which was 43.30. And then we got out at 43.53. So that's a 20-cent hit or so. And then we went back short at 45 and then got out at 55. So that's only a dime. And now we're back short one more time. I don't know. I can't believe how high up Uber is today, and it was great. I mean, there's a lot of traders looking to get into it, right? So, I mean, it makes sense to me, but we will short this here, and especially if I think the market's going to go negative, that's really the call right there. Palantir, very, very small position to start with, and again, the market rallies, Palantir is going right back to 27, so this is a very dangerous position, but I want to short it into here. 26.75 is going to be where we're going to get out, so we'll take a little bit more here at 65, and then if we lose on this one, then we lose on this one as the market looks to rally upside right now. So let's average into that. Received a so Entain does confirm that there, Brendan. So what I mean, you talked about that there. I believe it was a London-based company. Okay. Wow. I mean, DraftKings. Did we realize this? I mean, we did, but wow, down. I mean, I talked about it earlier. I was like, wow, we got to short this thing. Definitely not a buyer. That was at 55. I turned over to it. Now it's at 53. So wow, that was a good dump there. So we saved ourselves a little bit of cash on our swing trade there with DraftKings getting out at 62 the other day, and we did post that. We got out of DraftKings and we bought some was it PaySafe? I'll go back and double check, but that's probably not doing that well either. So what's up, Brendo?
I mentioned this one yesterday, guys. We'll show you the headline one more time. Delic Holdings announcing yesterday the plans to merge with Ketamine Wellness Centers of Arizona to expand their work in the psychedelic research and testing area. So that means coming up, I mentioned this yesterday, as I said, but it's today, guys. We have the CEO of Delic coming through to talk about this deal, what it means for the company, and also update everyone on how their current trial is going. So heads up, 15 minutes, we'll talk to Delic, guys. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things, speaking of London, how things are shaping up over in Europe. Here is Miss B.
Hey, Brandon, European markets are trading higher today after their biggest loss in 2 months. IAG travel operator trading in London is up more than 4% following the relaxation of US travel curbs. Back to you.
That ENT.LO going crazy still over in London as well, guys.
ENT.LO.
I'm going to show you the 15-minute because this is yesterday's low. I didn't buy into AMC on the way down, like I mentioned. It actually took out that bottom and then came back into the upside. But you did have, when it made the bottom in yesterday's action, you had a little bit of consolidation right 39 to 39.25. So that's where I'm looking to get the first leg out, is in the middle of that range. I also just got into Lucid to that short side, at least to start the position. I was able to get some more shares around those quarters. I want to take some out in front of 26. I want to take some out in front of 25.75, and then same thing down around like 25.50. So start working those quarters. As I mentioned, and we're only half an hour to go here. If anyone's stuck in NNVC, you can see on our position board, I am short in this halt. As is Brendan, I know, and it's news pending halt. There is no update. There is no resumption time, no quote resumption time. So no idea when this thing will start trading again. When it does, when we get an idea when it will, we will let you guys know as promptly as possible. So stay tuned. Of course, at 11 o'clock, just to remind everybody, but Trader Pratt and Ms. Field will be back here for Memes and Movers, and same thing applies. The second we know there's going to be reopened there, we'll get that information to them so they can bring it to you live on that show as well.
So I can cheer on Uber to go down to the downside here as we're making some money off that trade, and then we're also going to watch Clover battle back. But one thing I'm going to do right now is call on Miss V, because we need some help right now. And as you can see right now, I've hit the like. Have you guys? Hopefully you have. We can get this thing. We're trying to get to 2,000 as much as we can right now as we head into the fall. So if you like the show so far, please, guys, we've been trading pretty much everything here. Neil, even into AMC. You don't see that often. So hit the like, 1.2. If you're watching, thank you so much. It's a free show. I would really like if you guys hit the share as well, and then throw it up on Twitter. We are going to be having, or Instagram, wherever you want, we are going to be having a contest for that very, very shortly. But 1.4, thank you so much for the likes. We are throwing to Trader Pratt and Ms. V very, very soon for our midday show. Coming up soon, and that should be a good one there. So I think today we might have changed the icon. So if you see a different icon there, we did change that. So we're all going to be basically under one brand there. So that's that. You're welcome, man. Stop Console Wars. That's why we do it. Just wanted to remind people, because we know you like the show. So if you can, please hit that like, subscribe, everything as we approach 250,000 subscribers right now. Uber dancing around. I'm going to give that a little bit of room now. The stops have been too tight on the upside, but again, it's worked out for me. That's how you save some cash, believe it or not. You don't hang around. Apple, again, very much like the futures right now. Look at the NASDAQ just kind of doing nothing right now, hovering around. Apple, it's almost, obviously, I mean, this is just an obvious statement, obvious alert here, that Apple's going to control a lot of what happens to the NASDAQ 100. So, watch out for Apple. And if Apple takes down these levels here, 143.50, which is very close, especially if it breaks yesterday's bottom. Like yesterday was not a great day, right? So you have in here, this is just a 20-minute chart, yesterday's bottom. I don't think we come down to that, 141. But if we get anywhere close to this level, like 143 again, sort of where we stopped before going back up today, if we crack through 143, then yeah, we are going to have a big problem to the downside here today. So just watch out for Apple as, again, one of those leading indicators for the market. And a big thanks. We just got up to 1.6K likes. Thank you so much for hitting those, guys. It really does mean a lot to us.
So here's a question. There was a fantastic question here. I mean, it's all about the community, and we like to be teaching here as well. So we got a question from Mike P. What happens if at the end of the day, if you're stuck in position and unable to get out? I mean, yes, we're a day trading firm, but if I can, I'm not looking at NBC. I'm actually looking at
you shouldn't be
looking
stuck.
at AMC. If it does not reopen at all, then you don't have a choice. Like, you're holding until the next possible day. That's just the reality. So it's one of those. Just because we're supposed to be flat at the end of the day, if it doesn't trade, then I am stuck holding this until tomorrow.
And it's called the halt policy.
Yeah, it's a halt policy.
So
like I'll just get out the next day. So that's just how it works. Here, that's how it will work for anybody. Like, you can't get out of a thing until it trades again, and that's just the reality that we're sitting with. AMC is starting to slow down around 39. Yes, I could scalp a 30-cent winner out, but I'm looking for it to at least break through 39 and get it, like I said, between 39 and 39.5. That hasn't happened yet. To check back in on Tesla, which, as the market is still trending to turning negative on the session, Tesla is still looking strong. So, but the only good thing I can say is I got out of it. It's still breaking higher. I'd be short of this thing if it was like 45 to 47, but it hasn't really approached those highs from the pre-market of yesterday's action. If it gets up there and we're still looking as relatively weak as we are in the market, then I'd still favor shorting the levels in Tesla. But it's worth noting, it's up 1.5%. It is outpacing the market. The relative strength is certainly on at this particular point in Tesla. Until it breaks 750, I can't say that I'm not going to stay wanting to short the pops on Tesla, but that has gone 0 for 1 for me.
Oh no, don't tell me that. I just saw someone say there,
HPL said
Vivek. ATER, yeah, I took out my stop there and came right back up. Yeah, look, I mean, my stops have been hunted forever, and that's fine. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. I mean, I had that out there, and it made sense to me why we wanted to get out. It was basically the lows that we had tested earlier. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me, actually. Yeah, I canceled all my orders. So, oh, man, right back to 43. Like, that's where we were. Okay, that's fine. I did want to talk about the thanks, Vivek, for pointing that out. And just, you know, sometimes this is the way the chart's going to look, man. We buy, we get out a little bit there, and then we take the ultimate bath at the bottom. You know, it is my worst stock today by far, and that's what that is. We're not going to be positive on Uber unless this stock comes back to the downside, about 10 more pennies or so, because we are short here at 43.50, and we're we are negative on it. If you see at the bottom, if it does show like Uber plus 20 pennies or something, it's just because when we scalp them out, it takes that as like, you know, you just made 20 pennies, and then when you lose it, you know, it just cancels it back. So it's a share size thing, right? So it's not going to show exactly accurate, but we're just trying to give you guys an idea of what we're trading anyways. Okay, so here's Clover. I believe, and this is what I was going to say, not about context logic. We can look at that too, Wish, but I wish that I believe in this a little bit more. This goes down to 775 here, and we didn't average in. I was actually, and I talked about it, my bid's down in the 60s right now on Clover. So we let that go, and the reason why is because on the daily chart, we were going to use 740. If I can find the daily chart, that's the 20-minute, that's not that. That's the 1 minute, there's the daily. So we were going to use this, 740 as our bottom. So I just didn't want to start, there goes Uber to the downside. So there we go, we're positive on it. Well, position pending. We do have this bid right here, 740 or so is where we wanted to get out if we were wrong. So again, I didn't want to start building this too early, but Clover, I am fully stamping on this one, man. We're responsible for this, Clover. Look at the NASDAQ, man. Darn it, Arun's probably cleaning up right now because we both like the short, and he trades the futures to the short side. So that's going to be a good trade. It looks like we're about to turn red.
You know what's killing me,
this
Sean?
One. Yeah,
good liking the short today.
Yep.
And then I try to pick stocks, and it's like 0 for 2, Moderna and Tesla. But if you just trade the market, it went down. So like, maybe that's just the kind of market we're in. I don't really know. We only have 20 minutes to go, and I know we're about to go to Brennan in just a minute or so. But HLBZ, it did halt to the upside. I did not get that long. Remember I said there would be an idea, like if I can get like the halt and then hold the long halt and then just take it out on the reopen. I wasn't able to catch the bid at 39.31, and I only liked that idea in front of 40, which it did give you. So I think it's probably going to open above that 40 level, and then it's jailbreak time. And I'm not looking to chase the long. Either I got it on that halt and then out on the reopen, which could be 50 cents, it could be $1, whatever it is. That's what I would have taken. At this point, I'm shooting to be able to short off of 40, which I don't think is going to be a good one, so I'll probably not do it. And then wait for 50, and then wait for 60, or look for an obvious reversal on the level 2. Outside of that, holding EDSA, Lucid's in the money slightly, but you guys are going to the big screen, and it's awfully mixed. We're essentially flat on the session, but it's a pretty mixed screen. So let's see Sector Watch with Brennan.
What's that bottom?
Hey guys, yeah, definitely not as rosy as it was looking in the pre-market here. Still 0.16 to the upside for the S&P. So the S&P is still definitely in positive territory. As you said, yeah, a bit of a checkered board today. Payc standing out here in the software makers in the tech group, almost 2%. Right beside that, though, Salesforce, CRM, also 1% to the upside. Basically all the rest of the bigger names in the software makers group, all in negative territory. CBOE, AXP also in the financials, standing out today as positive. And then we continue down here. It's this group that's actually helping to keep the market positive right now. That's the healthcare group. A lot of the vaccine related or COVID related names having a good day. Regeneron here 1.3, Moderna 1.3 to the upside. So healthcare stocks are definitely strong. NWSA and NWS over here in the communications group having a good day, 3% to the upside. Everything else, here or thereabouts, really nothing too significant standing out. It's the industrial sector that's offsetting all of the positivity led by AAL. I showed you DAL earlier having quite the day to the upside, but AAL to the downside, UAL here also in negative territory. Here's all the hotels, casinos, MGM, Wynn, LVS, Penn, National here as well, all back to the downside. Starbucks bouncing back a little bit today, 1%, AZO down there as well, and Gap in the retail group. But overall, we are still holding on to a gain for the S&P, 0.16, guys. Back to you.
Just barely holding on to. I'll get two things out of the way here. One, we talked about it. I mean, hopefully I mentioned Asana. I don't even know if I did. And apologies if I didn't. I should have been short this. It has all the wrong names with the market falling off, like we said a minute ago, and that gives that 930 look right off of that 120 top. And again, Asana, this is also, look at this, right? Like you had a 119, 120 jailbreak rejection. Then you had that same level come into play both for a breakdown today and then a 930 rollover trade, which I love. And Jim W. Saying I should grow a beard like Sean Brendan has his
it
own
was
look.
not like me. Look what Tyrone Bigham said.
I know what Tyrone said. I couldn't do a James Harden if I wanted to do a James Harden. It couldn't happen. Like it doesn't grow in fully. My brother, you know.
He'll never say never.
He grows like fantastically. He actually went as
yeah, he has legit beard.
Yeah, like trust me, like he can grow like a crazy one if he wants to do for like Halloween or whatever. I can't grow it. And if I did, happy wife, happy life. Yeah. If I grow a beard like that,
oh come on, she would love it. I'll ask her.
She hates it.
She
hates it. But I'm not a huge.
Do the due diligence.
I'm not a huge fan of it anyway, so that's why you don't see I got the clean shaven look. My daughter also says, "Daddy, can you shave the scruffies every single time?" So that's just look. That's the winner right there. Randy, you can't convince me either. You have a kick-ass one. Trader TV Randy has an unbelievable beard as well. But hey, we can't all be winners there.
Oh,
I can
Randy.
finally have one and it's weird that of all of the things, like the stocks, the market is weak, and the market following names that I try to go to the short side with aren't working. And then we're getting the lucid top here through that 2650, and this might work. Like, I don't even know what to do anymore. We got the reopen on HLBZ has reopened. I'm not in position on it, by the way, because I didn't take that trade. It is holding above 40 at least for now. If this jailbreaks to the upside, I'm going to start looking for shorts on this name, especially if it halts up again.
So we just got out some, good talk there on beards and good talk on stock. 43.36 right now. So we just took that out. I mean, it's only, okay, here we go, Uber. Now Uber is starting to go to the downside right now, so we're getting excited. 20 plus pennies now for Uber. So yeah, we're back to positive land, believe it or not, on Uber for me now. So good trading here. Hopefully this short can hold it, but we're not going to hold for much longer. We have our guest interview of the day with Brendan at the big desk.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, we'll remind you of the headline. I mentioned this a little earlier, but here we go. Delic acquiring Ketamine Wellness Centers Incorporated in Arizona, becoming the largest psychedelic wellness chain in the entire United States. So Delic Holdings trades here on the CSE here in Toronto. Matt Stang joining us on the show for the first time, Chairman CEO of Delic Holdings. First of all, Matt, great to have you. Thank you for doing this today. It's exciting. Congratulations, first of all. Tell us about this deal.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we've become the largest chain of psychedelic wellness centers in America. We have Ketamine Wellness Centers. It has 10 locations currently, on top of our 2 current locations, which gives us the largest footprint across America. We're in 9 states, and I think it's really transformational. We see this incredible opportunity to be the infrastructure play for psychedelic wellness. Right now, that means ketamine, because ketamine is the only FDA legal psychedelic. But we see, year and a half down the road, there's 2 more novel molecules that are in the works, that are in for FDA clearance in phase 3 clinical trials. So, MDMA and psilocybin are coming just behind it, and we think it's going to be revolutionary for mental health. We think it's the biggest thing that's happened for mental health in 50, 60 years, and really, that ability to help people heal from these issues that the pandemic has caused and all the mental health crises that have come around behind it, I think is so necessary and really powerful right now. So yeah, I'm super excited and really happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to get into the company a little bit more. There's multiple assets, multiple facets of the company here, but you have a very interesting background yourself, coming from the cannabis industry specifically. Everyone knows the iconic brand High Times, former CEO of High Times. Talk a little bit about your experience in that industry and how it's kind of transitioned into the psychedelic industry, and really what made you want to make that jump.
Sure, and I wasn't the CEO. I was actually the CRO, but I owned and operated the company for many years before we sold it to a private equity firm. And I saw this opportunity very similar to cannabis in the early 2010s, where there was really a breakout. There was an opportunity to change and mainstream psychedelics, and I think seeing and blazing that path for cannabis and understanding that when these things come to a tipping point, it changes really quickly, and you only see it in the rear view unless you've lived it like I have. And so 3 years ago, when we founded this company, it was really with the mind that psychedelics were at their tipping point, but people would only see it in the rear view. And I think that's been vindicated. And what we've built is a really incredible ecosystem for psychedelic wellness. So we have a media platform, gets about 500,000 viewers every month. We have an event called Meet Delic happening in Las Vegas, the largest psychedelic wellness conference in the world. It's going to be about 10,000 people across 2 days. We have this chain, the largest chain of ketamine clinics in the country. And we have a lab up in Canada that's doing novel IP research and has a license from Health Canada for psilocybin. So I think collectively we have all of these pieces, and we've built this incredible ecosystem. And it acts as a flywheel, and each piece complements and drives business to the next. So we're really proud of what we've built, and I think people are going to really see an incredible, business, right? We're not looking at this as something 5 or 7 years from now. A lot of people are looking at drug development and they want to be 7 years from now something. We really think we're going to produce real revenue, real profits in the now. In the next 2-3 quarters, you're going to see real numbers put up, and people are going to be really excited about being part of a real business that's scaling and growing.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. The company has made a conscious decision to work towards and obtain cash flow positive state now versus, waiting for more regulatory approvals to come, expanding the opportunities as far as what can be researched and what can be used as treatment. Talk a little bit more about the fact that, that is the main focus of the company at this point and why that direction was chosen.
Yeah, sure. I think, when you look at this space and you look at psychedelics, there's a really interesting opportunity to build a cash flow positive, long-term viable business now, rather than looking at just, hoping and Hail Marying that something will come together in 5 or 7 years. And so we consciously looked at this, very similar to the cannabis space early on. And there were a lot of people who were just looking for long-term press releases, but not real businesses. And the people who focused on real business have won. And we really have focused on real business. So real cash flow, real long-term viability. And, we've put this together and just the company we have now is on a $8 million run rate already. And, we think that with the expansion plans we have, as we really start to hockey stick the growth here, we can get this to double or more that run rate in the next 12 months. And I think that just puts us at a whole nother level and allows us to be one of the dominant players in the space.
Great story out yesterday again, guys, acquiring a brand new chain of clinics in the Arizona area. Matt Stang, CEO and co-founder of Delic Holdings. Appreciate your time today. Best of luck, and we look forward to an update in the future.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
There we go, guys. Delic Holdings, DELC, traded on the CSE again here in Toronto.
Good.
Little O Canada content, of course.
Great space. I mean, for right now.
100%. And look, even the chart, we have the chart up here, and I can actually show you.
Yeah,
actually
it's a great bottom.
Yeah, actually breaking it off an obvious bottom here for a penny stock, and you have the 25, 26 cent, and then you have this like 50-period moving average breaking to the upside. A couple of things to get to. I did get back into the HLBZ because I told you I'm only really looking for the short at this particular point. If it'll load up here, just come on, give it to me. That's the daily chart. You don't care about the daily chart on that name. But we are getting right back into that previous halt price. Now, it jailbroke the halt price to the downside. I did allow it to come back up to get 39.60, a little bit closer to that 40 even. This is going to go to the high of the day for me. If it breaks out that 41.50, I'm going to be out of this trade, and then we'll be looking for, like I said, those even dollar breaks as they do start to go higher. Now, at the end of the day, I'm probably not going to be done with this. Someone asked a question like, do you have to go short? Like, if you pay for the shorts, do you have to use them? No, you don't have to. Like, I can definitely hold on to them, but I can use them multiple times. Like every single time I have the availability to go in and out. You just can't use more than what you paid for. So I am back to the short trade. Still nothing on NNVC. I guess I'll be in that one until, who knows? I mean, I kind of think it'll open up today. It would be crazy for it to halt and then not reopen all day long, but we still have to wait for it. That's nothing we can do about it.
I'm not proud of this idea, but we told you about this market, man, and that it was going to be going red today. And I also told, about putting some new capital to work. Actually, I don't think I actually identified that. Yeah, I've been saying negative all day, right? And that there's at least a swoon. I'm going to be buying probably the first or second week in October. So there was a $5 super chat from before. Thank you for that. And I forgot to address it. But forget about what's happening right now. Look at this Palantir call, by the way. 45 down to 25. That's where we got out. We actually got overfilled there. I put too many bids, so we got out right away. So the Palantir profit's actually larger than it's going to show on the board. But as that interview, I was paying attention. We got overfilled, and I would have just punched out, but we did take a 4-cent hit on the overfill. But that's a 20-cent win and more right now on Palantir. Like our short was 26.45 right there as well. But yeah, I'm not putting new money to work until middle of October. Even a great call like that one on Uber. I don't want to make anything until we're through September, and let's just wait to see when the buyers come back in. Let's get a couple days of some actual real movement to the upside rather than just the first hour of the day. So we're going to wait for that. And I did want to talk about it too because you're always on the show, Sterling, and thank you so much for your support and everything that you add to the chat there. Congrats on the Uber short. Thank you. You took it with me. You added 3 or 4 times. You just wish you would have held on for longer. And I mean, that's the story, right? That's why I could sit here and say we're positive on Uber now because these are just all shorts. And we did get taken out twice at the top. And people will say, and I saw people in the chat, how are you positive on Uber with some of these calls? And yeah, we do have 2 bad calls in here where we got out, and then we just hammered it right back in. And again, some days this is not going to work, man. You can't just always say, oh, I'm wrong, and then get right back in. And I own up to those days. And like you saw Neil get out on Tesla, I get out all the time. Like I'm not in Uber if this continues to go up because I'm getting out, right? So thank God this started to fall back to the downside. Congratulations to you, Sterling Silver, because it's not as much money as we hope, but hopefully it's enough. Yesterday was National Pizza Day. That was fantastic. We had that sweet chili heat pizza, whatever it was called. It was all good, man. It was real. It was so all good, man. You guys know where that's
from.
Is
that back yet? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know what season. I think I would have got. I think I would have got an update if Better Call Saul, which is where that's from, is back. What do you guys like, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? Let's you guys let us know that in the chat.
Closer than you think. Although I forget the actor's
no
name.
one's going to say
this is
Saul,
horrible because I forget the actor's name. Bob Odenkirk. I know he had some health issues, so I hope he's doing well. Lucid, like of all of the shorts that are going to work for me today, and fingers crossed on HLBZ because it's essentially flat right now. But we go back into VWAP on that Lucid play. We waited for that one to get to that 26.5 level. It does get there, and we're able to take I still have some on, by the way. So I'm still in a third of the shares. I think it can still break down towards that 25 on the retrace. If it can reverse to almost 25 on the 26 level that I didn't like as much, then I think we have a chance to get down here. So let's see what happens with Lucid. We have it to the short side. HLBZ, caution trading that one. Look, if it breaks the high of the day, I'm absolutely out of it. But it's a tricky stock to day trade. It's ridiculously volatile. You're giving up $1 or $2. You're not trading it off 50-cent moves or 30-cent moves, not like we would with like a Lucid here. And we're still, of course, in that halt trade. Nothing we can do about it. AMC did give me that initial out. I have not reloaded just yet on this stock, and I'll go to the 15-minute chart so you can quickly see that double bottom. Oh, wait a minute. I just got the reload. Okay, thank you. I just got the reload in front of that low of the day. I have an area stop. Currently the 38.20 is the low, but I want to be buying dips as long as we hold 38 and then trying to scalp them out in the range of that 39 area, which is turned into resistance 39 to 39.25. That gives you $1 worth of range to work out to. And if this ends up being a consolidation bottom, then hopefully I can be active in this range. And if I start to get more fills down in front of 38, I'd probably start thinking about scalping 30, 40, 50 cents. The initial trade, I was looking to catch 50 pennies minimum for the first out. I think as it tries to get to that low and the market looks weaker and weaker, I'll look for 25 cents and 40 cents and things in that range. But AMC is my only long And that has more to do with holding that double bottom that it put in this morning. Everything else is to the short side for me, including NNVC, which I'm stuck in that hold.
Okay, yeah, so just, I think he said giddy up, I think he said. Okay, so just to get everyone an update right here, we do have Uber, and like we were talking about it, we did empty out some of that. You have to take advantage when you see these. Remember we talked about like these swooshes in the market there? We got to take advantage of a little bit there. So on the downside, we did start to bid out there, and now we only have 20% left of this short, but it was a big position. We are really, nicely green now on Uber as that goes. The only positions we have left is Clover, which we're going to average into that. I'll probably be in Clover. It's not moving anything, so we'll probably be in that all day. But we do have a couple decent names on watch here today or for tomorrow on earnings. So let's throw over to Brendan.
These are big.
Yeah, as you said, a couple of notable ones to talk about. Again, we won't really get back into the swing of things as far as earnings goes until obviously the first couple of weeks of October. But here we go for tonight and tomorrow morning.
So, I mean, look, I think both these earnings are big because Adobe has been a pretty, look, I love Adobe, but FedEx has been on just a not looking downward trend. Come on, daily chart load very quickly here. But FedEx has actually today tested again this 250 level, and you're starting to get down to some prices here. We're less than 10% away from going into the bottom that it put in I think it was late January here. So FedEx is teetering. If it tests that low, you talk about where to put money in. It's like, yeah, there could be a buying opportunity in FedEx. I don't love buying this week if we think this downward move can continue in the markets, but FedEx would be hard to ignore if it tests that 235. And then Adobe has been such a great name as well, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, Adobe is the cloud king, that's for sure. You just got to keep buying. Only in June, man, we were at 500. Now you're touching out at 600, 680 on the high side there. So we'll watch Adobe again, right near some of its crushing spots here. You're obviously going to play this one with options if you're going to be in it. It's a little bit too expensive. But again, maybe some premiums down here. If you get Adobe back down to 620, I think that's going to be a buy. But we only have less than a minute left. I don't know if we're ready to throw to V or whatever, but we do have what day it is. Is that happening at all, Lucas? Or do we know?
Packers Day?
Yes, it is ready to go. I don't think it's National Green Bay Packers Day. Hopefully that'll be the day after the Super Bowl. What's up, Miss V? What day is it?
Hey Sean and hey guys, thank you very much for spending another morning with us. I hope you're all in a profitable territory and having a wonderful day. Well, don't forget that right after this show at 11 p.m., me and Prad can wait for you to join our midday show. And happy National Pecan Cookie Day, everyone.
Pecan cookie? Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, I love pecans. This is setting up for a nuts joke, but we're not going to say it.
I'm not going to. Yeah, we won't go there, but I prefer pecan pie. But the cookies,
yes.
The cookies, absolutely.
Those are pretty
100%.
sweet, though, man. The pecan pies.
I'll go with that.
You got to be a.
Brendan, can you really say no?
Oh,
Like,
he
really?
can.
You
He can.
Not this time.
Not the pecans, but the cookies, probably.
I was not eating cookies last night, but we have a bowl of said pecans on our living room coffee table, guys.
So it's a no to pecan cookies, but a no to pecans themselves.
Yes.
There we go.
That is
Pecans.
absolutely.
I love how we're pronouncing that. Pecans,
I'll take the
proper.
word.
I've heard both. Like it's tomato, right? Like
I have no idea. Look, man, to be perfectly honest, let's be honest. When it comes to figuring out how to pronounce just about everything,
Pecan makes sense. What else are you gonna
including
say,
symbols, we just go to defer to Brendan, who usually has it right. So we go to him for that. So I'll just go with what you say there. Guess where you guys are headed? I know you're excited for it. It is 11 o'clock. We got the memes and movers, Trader Pratt and Miss V on the ones and twos. Let's get it started.
Hey, welcome to the Midday Show. I'm your host, Trader Brad. This is the beautiful Miss V.
Yo guys, I hope you're all doing nice. Thank you very much for joining us today. Again, please be active on the chat. Ask us anything, write what you trade, and don't forget to give us your like and subscribe to our channel. Well, let's dive in, Prad. What's up with the market?